Well, if you're waiting for us to actually say something and do something, somebody hit the button and way too early.
I had to.
Why?
Because of last week.
What happened last week?
We weren't on
Because
the
last
air.
week you waited until like 2 seconds before we went on, and then it didn't work, and we were 3 minutes late.
It went boink.
You know, in the world of broadcasting, it doesn't work that way.
You're in Jeff's world.
Just saying.
Yeah, this is Jeff's world.
This is Jeff's world. And I'm
It's
just
an
living in it.
alternative universe.
Yep. What?
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we talk with John Gray with Gulf Coast Auto Shield and get a tour of the new shop. Woo! Mr. Mars reviews the 2021 Mercedes-Benz GLB, as in boy, 250, new model. Conrad has the events calendar, and later we talk with the Mopar guy about new Wrangler and Gladiator parts. Plus, we'll have this week's automotive news headlines. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey, we need more Jeffrey Zekin.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Thanks so much. It's going to be a hot one, and it's going to be a hot one here in the studio. I can tell already.
Oh, yeah.
How hot is
I've
it?
taken my nap, and I'm ready to go.
Taking
my.
your nap.
So the Simone Biles story. Let's go ahead and start with that.
We had 30
No,
minutes of Simone earlier.
Rest in peace, Dusty Hill.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, what an icon of music, and I'm hoping they show a number of real good documentaries of ZZ Top, who they are, what they are, behind the scenes of some of the videos.
Well, there's a
and
great
stuff.
documentary on
There is.
Netflix
Yeah.
that was done, I don't know, in the past year or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, let's see, I'm
and
not
it's
a
good, yeah.
Netfllicker. I need
It was
to,
done just before Corona,
Yeah.
before the
Okay.
shutdown.
Yeah.
I need to get on and see it.
Yeah, you do. It's really good, and it really kind of tells the story.
Did you ever see ZZ Top?
I certainly did.
Where at?
Actually, at the, let's see, was it called the Summit or the Compact? I don't know, whatever it was called. Down there where Joel takes up the space.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Any one of those things.
Did you ever see him?
Saw him at the rodeo.
I saw him twice at the Beaumont Civic Center. So I mean, less than 8,000 people, so you can get up tight. But I also used to go see them when they were the moving sidewalks. Just before they changed
that's
their name,
cool.
they used to play in the Groves at the teen house. is
Before
what
they
it
had
was called.
beards. Before they had
And they weren't old enough to have beards back then. And then whenever they started, when they changed their name and Al Caldwell put them on the radio, they used to play at the VFW Hall in Beaumont out there on Highway 90.
I'll be darned.
And, you just go out there. They were just another band.
So you
that go out
saw
there
them
for
in the
dancing.
beginning.
Yes.
And they opened for Jimi Hendrix.
Did you ever see him, Jeffrey?
No, sir, I did not.
Actually, I saw them
missed
when
it.
they were the 13th floor elevators at the Astro Hall.
Really?
Yep.
Was it the
They
elevators or
had
the
some
sidewalk?
big, huge teenage thing out there. I don't remember what they called it. But, vendors and bands and all that stuff inside Astro Hall. And I went to that and saw them there.
I saw them when they opened for the Rolling Stones in the Astrodome in had to be October of '81.
Could you move your mic a little bit closer, please? I
Like
know that
October of '81 when
you-
they
you-
opened.
Like we can't hear him.
You broadcasters,
Yep.
got to lead you guys in.
Hey, I learned from last week.
I drove all the way down from Oklahoma City to see that concert.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you saw them and the Rolling Stones. How do you remember that?
We got a little.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because those brain cells were burnt out a long time ago. He has it written on the dashboard of his Oldsmobile.
His address
right.
to drive home.
the one that doesn't
it's
run.
right there.
Well, let's ask John. John, did you ever see the did you ever see ZZ Top?
About 5 times.
Oh, okay. Where at?
Toyota Center, the Compact Center.
Oh, wow.
The last 2 times I saw him, we were at Smart Financial. I was a big fan, and I tell you what, you heard about death pools before? People put money on people who
I've
are
heard
going to
of
die
that.
that year.
I have heard of that. I have.
Man, I never would have thought it would have been him.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
the
know?
first.
Yeah, I thought Beard maybe.
Yeah. I said that this morning. You would think it would be a different person. Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
because I think
what a loss.
I read somewhere that apparently he had some sort of hip surgery or something
Yeah.
here in the past
I
6
don't know.
months or so.
It was a shock to me.
And he really didn't apparently recover from that or something. It went haywire. And to die in your sleep at home, apparently he wasn't doing well, and they moved him home. I don't know, but
Yeah.
What a tragic loss and a Texas icon.
yeah.
John, what do you think of Simone Biles?
No, let's not go there. We're not going to talk about that. We don't need to pull Don's string.
I had a friend of mine had a knee surgery, and he had the second one done really quick, and he's on disability now. His, you talk about bringing in dementia, a lot of things, going under anesthesia twice. So for Dusty Hill, there may have been something related to something like that.
It'll probably come out sooner or later that some weird thing went on.
I had a paper cut the other day.
John Gray, we're going to move along here now, and we're going to talk about Gulf Coast Auto Shield, if that's okay with you. I already notice a huge difference in the office setting
look at
because
that.
you've got a view out of an actual window. But we also noticed that the booze is right behind
all the
it.
whiskey
Booze is
over your
back.
shoulder, the priorities.
Yes.
So the priorities are in order.
That's correct. Priorities are in order. And
Kinda sums it up.
It's a nice. I tell you, it's a much nicer place. It's a much nicer experience for the client too. I'll take you up to the waiting area. But yeah, it turned out we had a little bit of a rough start getting in, and one of the big there's a 15-ton air conditioner on the roof. Well, it didn't work when we moved in, so it was a little warm.
Wow.
And then there was some plumbing issues. They had to come in after we put our floor down. They had to come in and dig it up and get that fixed. But things have kind of settled down, and the workflow here, it's not that much bigger than the last one. It is about 1,200 to 1,600 square feet larger, but we actually have a ton of places to park out back. So,
well, that was always a little bit of the shortcoming of the old place, is all your parking was out front, and there was like 10 spaces max.
It was tough. So I would say that the best two things, or best three things about this facility are going to be our ability to park, which is better for our workflow, the lighting in the new place, and just the waiting area for the clients.
Well, let's start where you're located now. Is in relationship to the old place, how far away is it?
We're about 3 miles from the old place. We're just, if you get on the Beltway, if you get 59 from the old place, you take 59 south, get on the Beltway going south, immediately exit, and we're in that industrial complex right there, right on. It's 11275 South Sam Houston Parkway West, Suite 100, and we're really, really close.
So this is one of those new warehouses that they've built along there.
No, this one's been around for a long time, actually.
But an industrial park.
Yeah. It used to be a furniture store, I think, is what it was in its prior life.
Interesting.
So you got big signage out there, and driving by, people say, I know where that place is.
I don't. We got a flagpole, though, and we haven't done anything with it. But, man, that raises all kinds of possibilities.
Yes.
Raise the flag.
What we might run up that pole. You never know.
There's no doubt in my mind, knowing you, that there'll be something run up the pole.
There you go.
Well, you take a wrap off an old car, put a new wrap on it, fly the old wrap.
There you go.
No.
And so everybody, it's kind of cool, though. Everybody from the center here sees some of the cars coming in, so they've come down to visit. Well, down the corner, this is really great, and I'll show you what makes it so great. We do the built-in radar detector laser diffusers.
Yeah.
And so down in the corner is a company that used to be called Coban. Now it's called Safe Fleet. What they do is they put video recording devices in police cars. And they used to be a little bit more. Used to do a little bit more work when they were Coban, but they've kind of gotten out of some of the other stuff. Well, the owner comes down and she's got a 911. She wants to get some work done to her car. And I went and visited, and one of the toughest things when you do built-in radar detector laser diffusers is you just don't have access to a laser gun. It's just they're very difficult. I do have a constable that will come over with a laser gun and let us test stuff. It's kind of cool, but you never get to keep it or anything. Well, I asked, do you have any laser guns?
Oh.
Well, sure we do. We have some stalkers. So she pulls out this. this is a Dragon Eye. This is the most difficult gun to jam in the world, and we've got one now. And what are the chances of that, man? It is a cool piece of equipment, and so we can test our stuff for clients now to show them that this will indeed jam the Dragon Eye guns, because they're the newest thing on the market, and they're very, very difficult to defeat.
So when are you going to merge with that company?
Wouldn't that be cool?
So you have tested the Dragon Eye on your product?
Oh yeah, we did. Within 5 minutes of getting it back, because we had actually had two cars in here with the new ALP anti-laser priority Redenzo setup that has the capability of jamming the newest stuff on the market.
He is on the Beltway.
Yep.
So when you put the wrap on this radar jamming wrap, how much of the car do you actually wrap with it?
Well, it's not actually a wrap. It's sensors that go up front, and they're very, very small, and they actually take the light that the laser gun is shooting, and it'll send back a signal blocking it, and then it'll shut itself off so that you have a chance to slow down or check your speed or whatnot. I run them, but I don't. I'm not a big speeder, but I do run them in my cars just because I like to be aware of what's going on around me.
And
research. I call that research.
Yeah.
And when
it is, of course, it's research.
When the system recognizes that you're in a radar situation, does it advise you as the driver?
Oh yeah. Well, radar is easy. Radar is easy, and it will not jam radar. Nothing's gonna jam radar, because radar is actually radar waves that take and measure your speed. Laser is the tough one, because laser is line of sight only, because it is light. It is light that's being shot onto your car, and they get a reflection back, and that's why when you come over a hill, if you have a radar detector in your car, that's not a jammer, but it will tell you when you're being shot. You'll notice you get no prior warning. That's why people want laser jammers, because you don't get a second chance. Once you come over the hill, you see the guy standing outside with the gun, shooting at your car. That's it. You're caught.
So, but it does advise you when it sees the light.
Absolutely.
And it starts jamming.
Once it starts jamming, it will tell you. It will tell you.
But does it
and
beep?
then you need to obviously check your speed or slow down, because they are going to get a second reading on you, because the system's going to shut itself off, because you don't want to continue jamming laser guns. It's just not something you want to do. Technically, they're illegal, but they're very, very popular, and they're extremely effective.
When you're testing it, can you see in the device you're shooting the car with? Can you see that it's being jammed?
You're not getting a reading back is the problem.
Okay.
So yeah,
now this one of all the laser guns that I've tested with, this one is the one that gets. I mean, I kind of stood on the sidewalk here, out on the Beltway, and I was shooting cars as they were going by from 300-400 feet. And it was like, this thing was dead on.
And they were all
time.
pulling
it never
over.
Messed up. It was never messing up. It was just perfect. But on some of the other older equipment that I've tried this stuff with, you would get errors, quite frequently. So the thing about the Dragon Eye guns are, though, they don't have them. You don't see them in Houston. You don't see them. None of the departments in Texas have them, to my knowledge, as of the last time I checked the forum.
So what happens?
So.
What happens if you do get shot with a laser and you have one of these devices, and the police officer pulls you over anyways, because they know something's a little hanky?
You could get a ticket for having a jamming device on your car. That's about as far as it goes. I've had clients that every once in a while you'll get caught with a jammer. It is extremely rare. But it's just a chance you're going to take. The ticket's less than a speeding ticket's going to be.
And it probably doesn't go on your license.
Yeah, not only that, these jammers that we put on too have they double their capability as parking sensors as well. So
I'm putting a parking
that's probably
sensor
where
on my
I would
car.
start. That'd be my first defense.
So I've got
Because curb feelers look silly.
yeah. So I've got a performance car, and I want to put one of these on there. What versus like a '86 Buick that I want to put one on? What does it cost to put one of these things in?
They started about $3,000.
Okay.
$3,000 for front and rear radar with front laser jammers. You can get laser jammers on the back too. You very seldom do you get hit from the back with laser. Number one, the officer has to be stationary. They cannot be moving. Typically what happens with when you get hit from the back is the officer is up on top of an overpass and he is shooting down toward the freeway. And look, if I get hit like that and I get and I'm speeding at the time, I just say, hey, I accept it. You got me. But it just doesn't happen all that often.
So, look, I would love to continue this radar jamming thing, but we want a tour of the new shop.
All right.
And while you're going to the tour of the new shop, let me ask one more radar jamming thing.
Oh, boy.
With the technology in today's vehicles that have these automated braking systems in them, can that be integrated into the radar jamming?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Nice thought, but
because it'd give you that couple of tenths or a second or so quicker tap of the brake.
Ooh, look at that. Is that the new waiting room?
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's the new waiting room.
Oh, that's sweet.
It turned out really good. And that desk right there is now occupied by my daughter, who just the one that just graduated from A&M. So she's going to come to work for me for a good long while, a while. And we will, yeah, it's cool.
So she's going to pay you back for her education?
That's right. I don't think she can ever pay me back for that. That was something. So we had this race deck put down in the shop.
Nice.
And it looks kind of cool. And so this is the new facility.
Wow, and it's got windows up front.
It's got some windows right over here. Yep.
Very
on
nice.
the side. And against that wall over there is where we have we can put 6 cars against that wall and work on them all at the same time. Paint protection film and window tint.
Lots of light
there.
Yeah.
Lots of fluorescent light, which I know you need for doing
lots of
your
light
paint
over there.
protection,
And
so is all those
over here we'll over in this corner we'll do ceramic coatings and various things that we do to cars. Maybe do a little bit of vinyl wrap, some color change stuff, and that's the Mercedes right there. That's got that set of jammers on the front of it. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that GT63S is a neat car. And then back here, of course, we have a big storage area over here in the back through that door right there
with a Lamborghini SUV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Urus. It's a Urus. It's a cool car. Then back here we do the kind of the dirty work goes on back here.
There you go.
If we need to polish cars or whatnot, we're doing them to where it's not in the area of the paint protection film and window tint, because obviously you don't want any kind of contamination going on. And then the very, very back there, that's where the electronic installs and whatnot are going down.
The secret stuff.
Then in the back we've got I got a 20 by 25 carport coming. And that's taken a while to build, as you can imagine, with everything that's going on.
Sure.
But that'll be where we'll do our training, customer training for, taking care of the paint on their cars and
neat
things of that nature.
The last time I talked to you, you had mentioned something about the fact that you wanted to get a new cell phone to me, or office phone or something. Do you have that number now?
I do.
What is it?
Let me walk up there and I'll give it to you in just a second. This is a clean C5 right here. I mean, apparently this white C5 Z06 is very, very rare. Maybe
extremely rare. Less than a couple of hundred of them ever made.
Is it as clean as mine?
It's pretty darn clean.
Yeah.
It's pretty darn clean.
It's because of the white?
Because of the white. They only made, and they made it for less than a full model. I'm going to say less than a half a model year for that 1 year, and that was the only time a white Z06 was offered in the C5 chassis.
I'll be darned.
Wow.
But you got a lot of cars in there, John.
Yeah, what is the percentage of customer cars versus dealership cars that you have?
We're pretty high on customer cars. The dealerships are. It's good to have a couple of dealership accounts, but you can't put your eggs in that basket because of the fact that they are
not consistent.
Hey, let me turn this. Yeah, you never know what might happen. There may be
manager change,
turnover in management,
budgets.
Yeah, things of that nature. And if you rely too much on the dealerships in this line of work, it could put you out of business.
Yeah, interesting.
So luckily, we have a very strong retail presence.
Good client base.
And you also have a huge relationship with the Tesla community because you've always got 2 or 3, 4 Teslas in the shop. So I
tell you, Tesla and Porsche are really, really big for us. And they've really done us very well. The new number to the shop is 832-930-5655. And my daughter Sophie handles that phone now. And she will take your call and answer your questions. And if there's a question that she can't answer, if you want to talk to me, she will get you through to me, get me a message or whatnot, and I'll give you a call back. But the phone calls were just getting to the point to where I just wasn't able to get any work done.
All right.
So, too busy on the phone.
I have 2 questions. One, have your hours changed? Or what are your hours? And also, what does your staff think of the new facility? Are they all pumped up?
The staff likes the new facility a lot. It's just so much of the lighting and how much cleaner this place is. And look, the other building was perfect at the time. It really served us well over those 4 years. It was just we outgrew it, and we needed something better to continue to produce the results that we want to produce. So,
John, what's the address over there?
11275 South Sam Houston Parkway West, Suite 100, 77031. We're right down
I can't write that fast.
Right down the way from Pickup USA.
Suite 100 what?
Suite 100, and the zip is 77031 over here.
Okay. Well, listen, man, it's been great to talk to you, and congratulations on the new facility.
Really looks good.
I'm going to try to stop by there maybe one day this next week in the morning, just to stop in and see it in person and that sort of stuff. And I know that our listeners would love to stop by and see it as well. So I guess we'll kind of open invitation to stop by if you get a chance.
Oh,
take a tour
anytime. And Don, you'll get a kick out of the fact that the reason why that white C5 is here, so we could take off the side trim pieces that you wanted taken off of yours. I swear to God.
You're kidding.
I swear to God, that's why it's here.
Well,
wow.
And you did a great job on mine with that as well.
Trendsetter.
Well, John, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much. Congratulations, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, guys. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us here, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com.
Yep.
I'm so glad he moved to a bigger shop. Holy cow!
He was so
crowded
moved to
where
a
he
different
was.
level with
Yeah.
all the flooring, and it just looks so much cleaner and neater.
Time now for the events calendar. Conrad has a look at what's coming up.
Well, again, tonight, Nifty 50s up at Grogan's Mill in the Woodlands. The Kemah Car Meet down in Kemah. Tomorrow is Coffee, Cars, and Donuts at the Whitehall Cafe in Navasota.
And it's Coffee and Chrome tomorrow as well.
Coffee and Chrome at Sharpstown Golf Club.
Where Prince's Hamburgers is located. Yep,
it's the only Prince's left, isn't it?
9 to noon tomorrow. So I'm planning on going. Yeah.
So Don will be there with hero cards and signing autographs. Jeff will probably be carrying his bags for him.
I don't know if I'm going.
And then next Sunday is HPD Twin Peaks meet in Webster. So if you're living in the southeast side of town and you want to go to a pretty cool meet, they always have some real nice irons show up. And then Speed Advocates on Thursday, August 12th at 9 p.m. at Rudy's Barbecue in Tomball.
All right.
Perfect.
Thank you, sir. Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Mars has a look at the 2021 Mercedes-Benz Glb. This is the new model.
This is the new model, and it's kind of they kind of parked it in between the subcompact and a compact. You know, it doesn't really fit into both of them. It's a little big for one, a little small for the other one. If I had to put anything to it, I would say it is a compact, because I just think that that's where it fits better as far as class.
No, it's small.
It is small, but it really is not as small as a subcompact to me. And when you look at it, it's got a nice big boxy look to it. You know, it's got straight lines there that you can kind of see in the picture there. And it's kind of gives it a little more off-road character. It's not really an off-road vehicle, but it also takes it out of that luxury class as well. But the reason I think that they did this, because this thing's got a lot of AMG touches. It's not an AMG, I figured out, but it's got a lot of AMG touches, you know, along the body lines and some of the touches that we're going to talk about as we go through this. It's got LED headlights, tail lights, got all those LED lighting packages, got rain sensing wipers, all the things you're going to expect from a Mercedes. Got a power side folding mirrors, got a power lift gate. Now, the factory, it comes with 18-inch wheels, but we had the optional AMG 20-inch spoked wheels.
They look great.
Those
They
look
really
very
nice. Run flats that you don't notice are run flats. They've gotten so much better. I don't mind run flats anymore. Now, when you get to the interior, and we had some leather seating surfaces. The front seats were heated. The rear seats were folding, reclining. They actually slide. They'll actually move 6 inches, so you can adjust that leg room in the rear.
Oh, wow.
And so, because if you push the front seats back, which got, you know, somebody Don's height, got plenty of leg room, I believe, and then you can push the back seats back as well to kind of make up for it. Now, I will say this vehicle has an optional third row seat available. Yeah. We didn't have it. And I thought that was the smartest thing that you could do in a vehicle this size. Don't put the third row in it. Yeah. But if you really got to have it, it's there. We had the optional AMG steering wheel. We had optional AMG floor mat. So there's a lot of AMG touches into this.
I like the air vents.
Yes. The air vents
are
cool. Nice and big. You know, you want to reach up there and grab them. It had a 10.75-inch center monitor, so it had plenty of screens where you can sit there and deal with that. Here's a picture of the rear cargo area. Again, to me, that's where you want to be instead of trying to cram a third row in there. 10.75 digital instrument display, cargo cover, all those good things. Now, you get into the engine right here. You got a 2.0 inline four-cylinder turbo, 221 horsepower, 238 pound-feet of torque, with an 8-speed transmission, dual clutch transmission, the DCT that we talked about last week. This little car is peppy. This little car will skit and get whenever you want it to. Now, the EPA says you should be looking for about 23 in the city, 30 on the highway, 26 combined. I got 25 for the week that I had it, and it was really a lot of fun to drive around. Ample power. It's got more fun than what you really look for in a vehicle like that. It does have paddle shifters if you want to play with them. It's got enough pep that kind of make you want to play with that a little bit. It's tuned and tweaked by AMG. So they've gone in and touched the transmission and the engine power. 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds, according to Mercedes-Benz. And it also has an off-road engineering package. Now, what this does is it takes the torque distribution and changes it if you go into that mode from an 80-20 to a 50-50. And they also ties into the ABS so that they use the ABS for that off-road enhancement,
stability,
if you will.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something to compare it to, you might look at an Audi Q3, a BMW X1, or even a VW Tiguan. Now, base 2021 GLB all-wheel drive starts at $40,050. Now, our particular vehicle, MSRP as tested with a couple of little options on it, was $49,755.
Not bad.
And in that category, with that kind of luxury type vehicle and the touches, I thought it was a pretty good package.
Sub 50 for a Mercedes.
And I enjoyed driving this vehicle. I really did.
Cool.
Hey, the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcast available at your favorite podcast provider. In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break. Let me tell you about a locally owned and operated group of dealerships called Bayway. Bayway owner Daryl Wisniewski is born and raised right here, and he knows Houstonians better than anyone. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Bayway Lincoln, and Bayway Chevrolet are managed by Lincoln Stahl. And when you get to know these guys, you'll want to become part of the Bayway family too. Feel good that you're part of Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com, BaywayChevrolet.com, and BaywayLincoln.com. Remember the name, Bayway. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield. It's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive. Place howdy along with Mike out of this world Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. Do we have our guest there?
Almost.
We're 90% there.
We're 90% there.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Don't you?
All right.
There we go.
He's got to
I
clear the
haven't
screen a little
checked
bit.
the audio, but
There you go.
yeah, let's go.
Morning,
All right.
guys.
There he is.
Manny
How you
Kapoor,
doing?
product manager, Mopar product manager for Wrangler and Gladiator. Manny, it's great to see you. Great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us on your day off. We appreciate it.
Hey, I wouldn't. This is the only thing I would like to do. This is fun. I enjoy this.
Well,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having me.
And we love the background. Are you at,
Nice.
are you at home?
I'm at home. Yeah, I wanted to hide. The kids are sleeping. I figured let me go in the basement where no one's going to hear me because as soon as they hear a racket, they're going to want to jump in on the screen and.
You're not a company man or anything, are you?
A company man? What do you mean?
A company
Yeah,
man. I mean, we got the grill of the Jeep Wrangler up there.
He's got to show his
back.
7-slot pride.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
it.
tell you what. That's pride and joy. You know what? That was a gift. We did a special edition for Red Rock, and you know what? This was the first grill that came off of one of the 50 units that we built for the club, and it was a little bit of memorabilia for me. And I got the picture here if you guys want to see it for fun.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Swing the camera around.
I need that grill.
Yeah, we all
I'll
need
tell
that
you
grill.
what. So this was the vehicle that we built right here. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
Yeah, it was a special edition. It was a numbered vehicle. This was the one of 50. So we took that grill and I hung it up just as a memory. Yeah.
Well,
So the number one off the roll, off the line, is missing a grill.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
No,
where
it's
it
in
is.
his
You'll find it
garage.
here.
Yeah, no, this is down in the basement.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
it's the vehicle's in his garage.
Oh, the vehicle's upstairs. I got you. Well, Manny, so we wanted to talk to you today because it's time to bring in the Gladiator and get some Mopar tweaks to it. And I know that you've got a whole list of stuff that's ready for the Gladiator owners to actually accessorize their vehicle.
We got a lot of parts, and we started from one right back in 2018 on the Wrangler, and thankfully some of the parts, transfer over to the Gladiator. We're well over 500 some accessories, and the JPP line, if you will, there's in excess of 200 parts, so lots to pick from for sure. So for those that were in Chicago, seeing a couple of our new products or releases, the Sunrider is one of them. You guys get a chance to see that?
I have not seen it. Is are we talking about the roof line?
Yeah, so what it really is let's say you're out and you have a hard top, and you want to get a little bit of sunshine, you got to pull over, you got to take off the freedom tops, put them in your trunk. What we did is we said, why don't we get the soft top and incorporate it with the hard top, and now you get the best of both. You got soft in the front, hard in the rear, and basically that flip top, our Sunrider allows you to roll it back, and it's very, very convenient. A couple of clips. It's easy to install, probably 20, 30 minutes. I got some pictures here if you guys like to see it.
Sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, what a great idea to incorporate both the soft top and the hard top together to make it convenient to open up to the sun. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, here we go.
And
So here it is.
are all of these parts available through any of the Jeep dealers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you can pick it up at the dealer, or we make it even more convenient. You can pick it up, with your vehicle when you purchase. So if you do it as a check the box option from the factory, we'll put it in the trunk for you, so it's available, and you can roll it into your finance. It's with the vehicle, $895,
nice.
great price.
Oh yeah, that's even better.
I love
That's
that.
even
Yeah,
better.
roll it in. Because $895 on a 7-year note is nothing.
Right, you're paying a couple of dollars a month, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
this is really what it is. Quite simply, when you're installing it, there's a couple of rails here. You got to put in a couple of fasteners. No drilling required. The important thing is there's a little bulb seal here. If you install it properly, men sometimes don't like to read instructions. But if you do follow the instructions, I can promise that you won't have any issues, no water leaks. It's a fantastic product. And it buttons up just like it would on a soft top. So what we did is we took the engineering of our soft top and we incorporated into this product. And like I said, we kind of cut it to incorporate with the hard top. And it's a great execution, and you can put it on and leave it year round. Here's the issue. Sometimes, someone lives in a place where they don't have garage space. Maybe they don't even have a garage. Where would you store a second top? So we said, let's try to make it convenient. And, our approach is always solution-based to whatever problem one might have. But that was the angle on this product. But I tell you what, it's taken off exceptionally well. It's doing real well.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the Jeep hardtop now have 2 removable panels up there in the driver-passenger compartment?
Absolutely correct. So the Freedom Top, and that's kind of what I was alluding to in the beginning, that if you wanted to get the sun, you'd have to pull over and remove those, where now, at the flick of a wrist, much like a soft top, you could just, flip it with a quick flip wrist. And basically, these little latches here that I'm pointing at, that's all it is. Those 2 little latches release it.
Okay, so it's not coming up, Manny. I don't know if there's another share button or something you need to hit, but just so you know, the pictures aren't coming up.
I'm sorry.
We love looking at you, though. That's it.
Well,
okay.
yeah.
I'm talking like you guys are watching.
Well, we're trying.
While he's doing that, I got a question now. This is only available through the dealership, because there are an abundance of aftermarket suppliers, shops that do work on Jeeps. Is this available to them, or would they have to get the product from the dealership to satisfy their customer?
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Can you see
There
now?
you go.
There we
Yeah.
Operator issue. That's the problem. I'm only on coffee number 2, so I apologize. Here we are. So, like I was saying, here is the top, and here's a couple of attachments. You got some bracketry, a couple of fasteners. Again, no drilling, easy install, and these latches here. Once you release those, it allows you to flip the top back.
So it's not the whole top; it's just the part above the front,
Driver and passenger.
Yeah, driver. Yeah.
Panels. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things that I really did like last time I had a Jeep Wrangler with the hard top on it. I did have the 2 removable panels. I didn't know whether that was standard now with all of the hard tops, or whether that was an option with the hard top.
Did you take them off?
Yeah.
when you
No,
had it?
that's I believe that's a standard option. I mean, it's
Right.
standard with all vehicles, but this allows you to, have the best of both worlds, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, that's really nice. And the other thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that these Mopar parts, aftermarket parts, if you will,
Yes.
I don't even know. Really, can you call them aftermarket? Because I guess you could order your Jeep with these parts, and I guess some of them are dealer installed. Is that how that works?
Yeah, one might call it aftermarket, but really it's the OEM. We are the OEM. We're the factory, right? So let's not confuse things. Aftermarket, essentially, they're taking a vehicle and they're trying to fit their products into it.
Right.
As the OEM, we're making products that maybe we don't install in the factory. In a lot of cases, we do to make it convenient. We've got an upfit center, which is right across the street from the factory. We'll send a vehicle there and we'll make all kinds of modifications, right? We're always expanding. We're never sitting still. We're always looking for the next best thing. How do we make it better, improve what's already a great, experience? And we'll add those products right there in our custom shop.
Well, and Jeep customers demand the uniqueness of their Jeep. So offering, I think you said before you had like 500 part numbers that are available for all the accessory items that Mopar or that Jeep sells for their trucks. What a better way for a customer to set it up for themselves so they're not seeing themselves drive down the highway in the other direction.
Well, Manny, to that point, generally, from my experience with Mopar, you guys always pick a vehicle and actually make that quote-unquote Mopar vehicle available to purchase. Do you have any currently in the offering?
You know what, we like to do that a lot, and what we'll do is some of these shows, you'll see them rolling around, and sometimes we make them available. We'll do like a buzz model. You see these like Mopar 2018, 19, they go back. We do that often, but what we do, or what we did in the case of Moab, is we took a vehicle and we threw some product on it. If you pay close attention to some of the products on there, some of them are not available today, but are coming soon. And I won't give it away, but there's a lot of things that we'll tease. And what we do is try to understand consumer likes, and that's where we get our inputs. We don't just make product, throw it against the wall and see if it sticks. We'll ask our consumers, do you like this? What don't you like? How can we make it better? What are your wishes? And that's how we kind of go around to develop product. And take a look at orange peels if you get the chance, and that'll give you a little bit of an indication of some of the stuff that's coming.
So, Manny, let me ask you this. And is there anything specific for the new 4XE? I mean, I know all the Wrangler parts, the Gladiator parts, things like that will fit, but I didn't know if there was something specifically for that model.
And that's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people ask, is there, unique parts? There's a handful of parts that are unique. For the most part, like you said, a lot of the parts carry over and they'll fit. What really changes the battery pack? So that'll change the floor, and that'll essentially change your mats and, the fits of other products. But what we wanted to do was make sure there's continuity. So we modified those parts. We made them also available for the 4xe. The seats changed. So what we did is we ran some new seat covers with our partner Catskin, right? So we do everything from bumpers, winches, rock rails, wheels, you name it. We don't stop. We've got something pretty much every category. But if it fits on a regular, Wrangler, it's going to fit on a 4xe. And if it didn't, we modified it to fit.
Okay.
So if I have a Wrangler that's 3 or 4 years old, I can still retrofit this new stuff, generally speaking, that Mopar has to offer.
Yeah, for the most part, this stuff is reverse compatible. It'll go back to, the 2018. Now, granted, it's impossible to launch with every single product at day one, right?
Sure.
And there's always an evolution and, new products coming. But we try to make it, in the event something dramatically changes the vehicle, we'll make sure we identify it as, only to whatever year it may be. But for the most part, everything goes backwards and will fit.
Very good.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the unique part about this is that this is the factory parts under the Mopar label. And so if you're, and I'm one of those kind of factory guys. I love the factory stuff. Always have. Not to put down any of the aftermarket stuff.
But this stuff's going to fit.
Well, I was thinking the same thing.
Because it was designed by the people who designed the vehicle.
Right.
Exactly.
And I've always been one of those kind of factory guys. Matter of fact, my C5 Corvette has some aftermarket stuff on it, but it's from the factory because it was actually made for the Z06. So even though my car is not a Z06 Corvette, it still has like the rear spoiler on it is for a Z06.
Crosses over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about, like, with the Jeeps and stuff, you can get a lot of these parts. They fit so where they really don't look aftermarket.
No, they don't at all.
Like if you put a 10-inch lift kit on it, well, you know that somebody's been on aftermarket. So it just looks like it comes from the factory. It just has a little bit cleaner look.
Also, the great thing about Jeep is the wide range of years that offer that interchangeability.
Manny, Mike mentioned suspension parts. Does Mopar supply suspension parts as well?
Yeah, let's look at consumer wants, right? So the number one thing that consumers do when they get their Wrangler is wheels, lifts, tires, right? So we had to come out with a lift kit. I think we have probably one of the industry-leading products in terms of, off-road and on-road. We partnered with Fox. We've got one of their best, 2.5-inch diameter shocks. It's good for heating and, dissipating heat actually. And the comfort is there, right? It does really well. We got one for pretty much every vehicle line in our Wrangler setup. And that's the first thing consumers do. So there are suspension parts. But, if I could take you to some other products, now that we're in the summer, we were talking about the Sunrider.
Yep.
One of my favorite products is tube doors. I don't know if you guys seen that. I could throw it up on the screen. But when you say factory fits, this is an interesting one, because what we do is we take the factory latches, the factory hinges, and we use all those components to create these tube doors, which is a great aesthetic and comfort. If you don't like removing the doors and you feel a little, queasy about looking out and not having any kind of security blanket,
Yeah.
or if you have an animal like myself, I'm afraid that, you might take a corner a little hard and the dog rolls out. But this kind of provides some comfort. Let me throw it on the screen real quick.
Yeah, please.
I was thinking mother-in-law.
Well, I'm thinking my wife would be one of those. I'm not going if you're taking the doors off of it. I mean, I already know that that's coming. But something like this
Right.
Yeah, there you
might.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Tube doors.
Right?
Yeah.
So tube doors, right? So when you're talking about factory, and I just wanted to emphasize, if you're going to do something, do it right. We like to make sure that the product looks like it belongs. You don't want to throw something on there and it looks like a complete anomaly. This thing was designed for this vehicle. Between our designers who are very, very passionate, if you look at this, it looks like it's straight, but they actually contour out. It gives it additional body, so it looks like it's got a wider stance. When you're sitting in the vehicle, it actually provides for greater comfort because you have more knee and leg room. Best thing about it, awesome armrest when you're driving, and you feel that sense of security if you don't want to drive with the doors
Okay,
off.
here's
And you still got the wide
here's
open
a
to
stupid
it.
question for you. Where are the door
Yeah,
handles?
The door handles, look at this eject button right here. You grab that, toss you out like you're in
The
an
eject.
Now we're back to the mother-in-law.
That's what I'm talking
And
about.
I'm assuming that these tube doors fit on the door storage hanger thing that some people have in their garage
looks
that
to
I
me.
know Mopar sells as well.
Yeah, it's pretty simple, right? You throw a couple of hooks in the wall,
these
into
would be
your
pretty simple.
studs,
Yeah.
and they'll hang on there. It's not so bad. But I guess it begs the question. I'm surprised you didn't ask. Where's the mirrors, right? So,
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
course, we wouldn't leave that one alone. So what we did is we created some mirrors to attach to the doors.
Look at that.
So you got
Okay.
it complete. But, it's the accessory you kind of build upon. Here's an accessory for the accessory, and yet
Yeah.
here's another accessory. So if you were looking for a half-door type product, what we did is we created these mesh covers, right? That go right over it.
Look at that.
So what does
Yeah,
this
yeah,
do?
yeah.
It keeps debris out. It keeps water out to some level. I mean, if you're running a power washer, it might be different. But, I mean, for the most part, it keeps the water out. But it's the comfort of the half-door. And, for I think it's $250 for a set on a 4-door. It's very inexpensive.
Wow.
Just for these covers. But it's a great add-on, right?
I can see that.
With all of these add-ons and the accessories, specifically suspension that Mike brought up, what does it
Yeah.
do to the warranty? Now, I've got you put a big lift on and the shocks and something goes wrong for whatever reason. Is that covered through through Jeep?
And that's the best part. You guys keep mentioning about from the factory and not being aftermarket. Being the OEM, it's the same engineers that build these vehicles that are creating these products, right? So we honor the same warranty. We will not void your warranty. So if you were to buy an aftermarket lift kit, as an example, put on your vehicle and something happens and it's causing some kind of complications, that's not going to be covered. However, if you use ours, we know that it's validated, true, tried, and tested. We're going to stand behind it. And we're going to cover any issue you have.
Well, one of the cool things, too, at the Jeep dealerships, when some of these lift kits are delivered to the Jeep dealerships, they're delivered on the crate, but it's got all this Jeep branding on this wooden crate. So you go into their parts departments, and they're all stacked up. And a lot of times the customers will ask for that crate to come with the vehicle as well. So it's kind of a cool little bonus piece to it. They get this cool wood box with all the Jeep logos on it.
Commemorative.
Highly sought after. You're actually, a lot of people are fishing around. They're selling them on eBay or whatever it is. But it's a wood crate, but there's a lot of novelty in it. People use it for a toolbox, put their kids in it. I don't know, but it's a neat little
Mother-in-law.
And we were
to the mother-in-law.
yeah, we were talking about the tube doors last time. I mean, we were talking Wrangler, but you make that for the Gladiator also, right? I mean, that's
If it's on the Gladiator as well, you're right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
got Gladiator, you got Wrangler, and that's just a small sampling. I mean, we could go on for days talking about the different products, whether it's lights or rock rails and, the little features that we add into it. Again, it's solution-based, right, or problem-based. You try to find, here's the problem, here's our solution, and we enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it.
Well, the thing
Don't tell anyone.
the thing we learned going to some of the Jeep events is Jeep people are there listening to what your Jeep owners are asking for, and that's what you're developing through your accessory line is, here's what our Jeep owners are asking for, so delivering back to them what they want.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it. What's the point of making a product that no one's going to buy, right? We're not making them to put them on the shelf, and if it's a consumer want, those are the ones we're going to go after.
Exactly.
Well, Manny, the Gladiator is the hot thing right now, so anything specific for the Gladiator?
Well, if you look at the Gladiator, what's the real difference? Now you got a bed, right? So now what's really hot is the overlanding. We're trying to really move into the overlanding area. A lot of people are using these to go, off the grid, and, they want to camp for days. They want tents. They want bigger wheels to get them there. Again, the suspensions, the lighting's important, but a lot of the stuff that fits on a Wrangler is going to fit on the Gladiator, but it's really the cool things that we had for the bed of it. Like we've got this really cool toolbox, a deck system. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to see that. I don't have a picture handy. But basically, it's a big box that goes into the bed. It's got drawers that are on rollers, and you could put your content, whether you're using it for construction or using it to go camping. It's got great storage, right? And that's kind of what we're doing, is leveraging the opportunity of what consumers are using these vehicles for.
I look forward to having 4 of these delivered to us.
Yeah, exactly.
You tell me the colors. You pick your colors, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah.
I got Dan listening here somewhere. I'll make sure I put a plug in his ear.
Yeah, Dan. Help us out.
Well,
And it's all available online to order through.
Yeah, most of our sales are from the dealer, right? So we don't sell direct to consumer. Our retail channels are our dealers. So go into your dealer, when you're in there going for an oil change, ask, hey, what do you guys have for accessories? Show me.
but you can shop all of that online, right, through the Mopar
You can
brand?
shop it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all available. You can see it. We've got catalogs.
All can be installed at the dealership service department for you.
That's Yes,
Or hey, I'm still okay with a wrench and a screwdriver sometimes.
Yeah, some of it. Yeah, I've seen your screwdrivers. They're orange and yellow and early morning, but
I'm going to call Jeff. He'll help me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Manny, it's great to talk to you. We really appreciate
yeah.
you taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us. And
Good stuff.
Anytime. Thank you for having me, guys.
Stay in touch
Have a
with
good
us
rest of
here.
your
Let
day.
us know of any new stuff you got coming along.
You got it. Thank you.
Manny Kapoor, Mopar product manager for Wrangler and Gladiator. Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Just shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, there's a dealer down there just got a white Gladiator in, and I like it. It looks really good, and I could see it with a few little things on it. Those tube doors and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
My wife probably wouldn't see it, but I could see that.
It'd be one of those vehicles
Just
that
don't
you
show
can
her.
leave at the
Exactly.
leave at the beach.
Yeah, leave it at the beach and just
Just say it's the
run
new,
up and down the beach.
it's the new golf cart.
Yeah, it's just a
Get
bigger golf cart.
Get the 4E.
Can you imagine all the grandkids you could put in
I
it
don't
and all
know.
that?
I guess I don't know if you could get the 4E in a Gladiator.
Not yet. Not in the Gladiator. You can
It's
get it in the
coming.
Wrangler only. All right, time now for a couple of stories making automotive news headlines this week. Recalls to tell you about. Front driver's side airbag may not deploy properly in the Chevy Bolt, EUV, and the EV for 2022. Same thing for the BMW X5 for the 2019 model year. Occupant classification system malfunction.
What?
What the hell is that?
There's the little light that tells you somebody's sitting next to you?
I don't
Well,
know.
I think the new passenger side airbag systems will identify not only that there's a passenger in the passenger seat for the airbag.
Are you
to
guessing?
deploy. Yeah, I'm guessing. But it's also going
We don't
to identify the size of the passenger.
Oh.
He's guessing. Anyway, if you got a BMW X3 or X4 from the 2018 to 2019 model year, that's
Don't
for
guess.
you.
Go to safercars.gov.
Electronic brake booster may leak into the ECU on the Ford F-150 for
That's
the
expensive.
2021
Oh,
year
it's not good
model
either.
year. Unsecured wiring harness on the Lincoln Aviator 20 to 2021. And drive shaft may separate on the Ford F-350 Super Duty 20 to 21.
Is that a double shaft?
While you're pulling a 30,000-pound trailer.
But doesn't it have the
That'll
double?
go over well.
Oops, what happened there?
Honey, the horses just passed us.
Ford Motor Company rear suspension toe link fracture is possible on the Ford Explorer 2013 to 2017. Ooh, that's not good. Incorrect transmission overflow pipe and filter on the Mercedes-Benz GLK 250 for 2013. And the high voltage battery may catch fire in the Chevy Bolt EV 2017 to 2019.
A thermal event.
So go to safercar.gov and be sure and type in your VIN number, which you can find on your proof of insurance card.
Oh, you're supposed to have insurance?
You're supposed to.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll remember that.
Rebounding Mitsubishi Motors Corporation. I didn't know they were rebounding.
You wrecked my car.
Have you seen that ugly Outlander crossover? Oh my God. It's a throwback to the Aztec. Do you remember the Aztec? This is worse than the Aztec.
Worser.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
No pictures?
Apparently, the redesigned Outlander crossover fueled a U.S. sales surge.
Both of them.
They are not my neighbors, nor do I want them to be.
So
There,
did you
there's
hear
that.
Nissan has announced the 2023 Nissan GTR is going to have a hybrid component of it, similar to what they used in the Le Mans Nissan hybrid vehicle.
Le Mans.
And the new R36 supercar is going to stick with the current R35's twin-turbo V6, but they're going to have a hybrid power booster on
Do
it.
you go to New York? Do you like New York? Anybody like New York?
I grew up in New York.
Did you?
Forgive
New York
me.
City.
Well, suburbs of the city.
Okay. Well, electric vehicle company Revel, R-E-V-E-L.
I used to have their little models.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Will privately build the car charging stations the city needs to support a future where EVs replace gasoline-powered vehicles.
Yeah.
Revel believes it can make New York City an offer it can't refuse. Hey, Tony.
Forget about it.
The electric vehicle company will privately build the car charging stations the city needs to support a future where EVs replace gas-powered vehicles. What the company wants in exchange is access to the city streets for hire vehicles. In other words, an exemption from the current cap.
Well, that's New York. I'll give you something if I get something. If I get something that I like, I'll give you whatever you want. But I got to get something in return.
It's in powder blue.
I know a guy that knows a guy that's got a sister.
Yeah. Tony No Thumbs.
Hey, forget about it.
Quick break now, then we're right back right here on the In Wheel Time Car Show. Stay with us.
Houstonian-owned Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the most sought-after models in the Houston area today. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is easy to get to on Highway 225 near Beltway 8 in Pasadena. Whether it's online or in person, you're welcome like one of the family. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican Restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
This is the award-winning Car Talk Show in Wheel Time. Just ahead, we talk with Michael Thomas from Pennzoil.
Maybe.
About...
I haven't found him yet.
Now, Mars gives me this list of guests that we're going to have. And then he tells me, as we're about to get to him, that no,
he's not answering he's not on it. He's not answering his text.
Well,
I'm looking.
So that's your problem.
I'm
Mars.
working on it, though.
Well,
I was trying to save you.
His publicist said it was good to go. So
Mars,
blame
you're
it on
not
them.
saving me anything.
He's trying to
not
save
Mike's
you
fault.
embarrassment,
Giving
Don.
me the headache.
I'm
is
on
what
Mike's side with this.
We're going to review our featured vehicle of the week, the Acura TLX. We've got your weekly cruise-in calendar. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Howdy along with Mike out of this world, Mars. Or should I say Mike No-Show Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday. It's hot around these parts.
How hot
It's not
is
too
it?
hot.
It's as hot as Simone Biles trying to get into the Olympics.
So what's your opinion on that?
No, don't go there. Don't go there. We started that. We don't
Get
wanna
your
hear
butt
it.
out there and play.
Okay. Well, Conrad and I feel that our mental capacity right now, we need to leave the show.
I think that here, I can take care of that. Let's see, you're off,
Bye-bye.
and you're off. Mars, it's just you and me. No, I'm sorry.
No, we got Mr. Thomas is. Hang on, don't go away yet.
Okay, why?
Because I'm working on it. He's here. I just got to get him logged in.
Okay, yeah. No, absolutely not. You're a non-entity on this show because you exited yourself out of there.
No, I didn't.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
we
but we
can.
can kind of see.
Yeah, we got
just from the nose down.
Yeah, we got about half your
You got
cameras
something
gone.
blocking your camera.
Yeah.
It's half the camera. Hold on, guys.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's
Put
see
him up
something.
there, Mike. Jeff, put him
Jeff.
up there.
Hold on, guys.
There you go. There he is.
It's kind of like Max Headroom here.
Hold on. Can you guys see me?
We
Well,
can see. We
We
can
can
your
see you
nose
from
down.
the nose down.
Hold on a second.
And it is a
It looks
mighty
like you
fine
got
nose.
something over the top of the camera. Something
Yeah.
blocking the
See,
top of
you
the
know
camera.
what? I got two cameras, but you know what? Let's just turn one off, and hopefully you can see me here. Let me turn this.
I'm going to
one
leave it
off.
on because this looks fun.
Hey,
It's
guys.
like, guess who this is?
Yeah.
It's the mystery man.
What is
from
my
Pennzoil.
line?
We'll reveal them at the end of the show.
There you go. Hey, give me about 3 seconds, fellas.
Okay.
1, 2.
A 3. It's
Voila!
Hey!
all right.
There he is.
Ta-da.
Okay, guys.
Hey, you apparently have gone to the Jeff Zekin
Hey,
and
hey,
Mike Mars
hey.
School of Zooming.
Zooming.
That's it.
Oh my goodness! You guys see me clearly because this is wild. This is just too wild for words. Let's make sure.
Well-
enough light. Hey, enough lighting for me. I'm not too.
No,
you're good.
perfect.
You're
You look
good.
beautiful. You could tilt the camera down just a little bit because you got a little max headroom going on there.
There you go.
A little bit more. There you go.
And now we can see the Pennzoil logo on the shirt and everything. There you go.
There
Perfect.
you go.
Perfect.
And you're in your gaming chair. You're ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you see that? I hope it's not backwards.
There you go.
Talking
There
about
you
cars
go.
for hours.
I
Yeah.
can talk cars all day long.
That's what we do all the time.
Oh, my goodness.
At least 3.
So Michael Thomas is Mr. Pennzoil, and we are so glad to have you here, man. Thanks for taking your time on Saturday morning to join us, hey?
Oh man, I'm loving it. I love this. Anytime.
Hey, where are you located physically?
I am in Houston, Texas.
Okay,
Awesome.
good.
Okay.
Well, so are we, kind of. We're out here in Sugarland, so we're not too far
Guys
away.
in Sugarland. Oh, jeez, we've probably seen each other if we go to any car functions.
Absolutely, we have.
Houston
yeah.
Auto Show or any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cars and coffee.
Cars and
all
Coffee.
that?
You're going to go to Coffee and Chrome tomorrow out at Prince's Hamburgers at the Sharpstown Golf Course?
Well, I guess I will go now. I have to pull out the. I'm gonna have to pull out the Mark 1. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
Starts at 9 o'clock.
So we want to talk to you about lots of things, mainly
Yes.
Pennzoil, if that's okay. We can focus in on that.
Okay.
And I wanted to, first of all, ask you about this new advertising campaign that you guys have, where you really focus in on Pennzoil is made from natural gas. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Where you guys been?
Well,
We've been in Houston where they use oil.
We've been confined to, I understand.
Yeah,
Well,
but this line of oil has been out for a while.
I know, but we're clearly uneducated when it comes to this. So
Speak for
explain
yourself.
to me when it comes to oil for your car made from gas. How does that work?
Okay, made from natural gas. We got to throw that part in.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay, this process has been around for many years. It's nothing new. Some people think it just came out of the woodworks, but it's not. We're talking several generations. We're looking at the same thing we cook on the stove, kind of the natural gas on the stove there. But we're talking, this is pure out of the ground. And once this is pumped out, because again, I'm not one of the chemists. I'm one of what we call an old school gearhead. But you get the natural gas, and we're talking the droplets of natural gas is pure. We're talking it's not crude oil like the Texas tea, but this natural gas is pure. And when we get this out of the ground, you get the droplets, which are clear, 95.5% pure of any of what we call the contaminants and impurities that you have to filter out when you get crude oil and do all that process just to get it ready to put the other additives in it so we can put it in our cars. But it's already clean. Now, once we get that, and we're talking clear, pure, what we used to call it pure plus technology, or gas to liquid. Once we get that, we don't have to go through that whole process. It's already clean. That base oil is unbelievable to be so clean. Then you add your other additives, your friction modifiers, anti-foaming agents, and all the other additives that you need to have for motor oil to do its job. So again, that base oil, 80% of motor oil is made of base oil. 20% is made of the additive package that you have to add to it. So again, base oil is, up to a lot of people, what base oil is the most important part of motor oil.
Right.
And that's what our full synthetic, our Pennzoil Platinum and Pennzoil Platinum Ultra is made of that base oil, which it seems to be pretty superior if you look at it. If we get into the racing side of the business and all of that, on how that oil is in the winning circle quite a bit. Just that base oil, which everybody can get. We can get that from, the local parts store.
And your new these new brands are all SP certified for the latest API certification that's out there.
You better believe it. We are usually the first when it comes to meeting the what we call the current American Petroleum Institute rating. Because if you take, for instance, you got the new ILSAC rating, which is GF6.
European.
Definitely. And that is, we're looking at lower, or I would say thinner viscosities. Some of us, a lot of the old school guys that called me on my technical hotline, they're all worked up because, hey, I don't think this thin oil is going to cut it in my. You're looking at engines and technology now. We're not talking about our old big block, small block cast iron engines we played with years ago.
You're talking about 0.16 weight is factory fill.
See, what we used to refer to back in my day as sewing machine oil.
Right,
that
exactly.
really thing.
Yeah, very much
yes.
So. But that
3 in 1.
0.16 factory fill on quite a few.
The can that goes.
But guys, we have to meet. I tell guys all the time, look, I'm old school. I was all about 2050 and 1040. I used to do a lot of drag racing in Virginia back in the day, in the 70s. So I'm telling you, I said, look, right now, we have to go by the rules. These engines, we're talking aluminum alloyed engines, clearances and tolerances are tight. You guys know. So we have to meet the what we call the new. And I'm gonna be honest, we are always on top of things. We're not trying to brag too much, but again, we're the first guys to come out with the 0W16 in North America to meet the CAFE, the corporate average fuel economy specs that are out there. Your oil has to meet those criterias.
Well,
so and then I can keep on talking, guys.
Yeah,
Well, another thing about the new SP oil specification has to do with LSPI, which is low speed pre-ignition.
Oh,
all
know it very
engines,
well.
all engines ingest a little bit of oil just in their normal operation.
Pass the rings.
As the compression ratio has raised in the engine, you will get those oil droplets will ignite like a diesel oil would and create a spark knock problem at low speeds. So this latest oil specification is about reducing this LSPI problem that lots of manufacturers...
Doesn't that cause the carbon in the wall and the cylinder?
Yep. That
Yes.
causes the carbon packing in the ringland area, which creates more blow-by, which creates more oil droplets in the induction system.
So it
and more
compounds
LSPI.
itself.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question about the SP. Now, folks don't know, the consumer doesn't know, but there's SP on all kinds of oil, even the
Everything.
cheap stuff, the 98 cents a quart type thing.
they mean
If
that.
you
Have
look
to.
at the SP on the back of a cheap bottle of oil, some of them say not for engine consumption. I've read that. It's a true statement. If you look at some of the oil that's out there that's really inexpensive, cheap, it does say that. Because when I worked for the distributor, we used to laugh at that. I had another one, but never mind. I'll think of it here in a second.
No problem. I like the fact that you brought it. This won't take but like a second. Like you said, the low speed pre-ignition. We have been on top of that from day one when our certain EcoBoost type of engines and the GM boys talking about bent rods. And I got to tell you guys, I've seen it, and it's amazing just by it. And I have to brag again, Pennzoil with this natural gas base oil pretty much eliminated that right off the bat. Because you had to reformulate your oil. The other guys had to reformulate their oils because, again, when this happened, when you had your S, we're looking at SN. This was happening in SN category in 2012, 13, 14, 15. And then pretty much oil was tested. We were right there. They had to come out with an SN plus.
Right.
Tell
which
everybody,
is
please.
the middle one before
The
they
middle
created-
one, which is
before
gone.
they did
But
SP.
yeah, but definitely you have to have that SP oil category to meet these
Do you guys still
tough standards.
Do you guys still have your research lab up there in the Woodlands?
No, we don't. I was there living in the Woodlands at that research lab, but we are on the west side because, again, we are part of Shell. With Shell.
Okay, so you're out there at the
and-
Highway 6 Research Center.
Exactly. We closed our Woodlands research lab about 18, 19 years ago.
Well,
we're-
talk about old school, Don.
That's right, Don. So we're out here in this huge one out here at Highway 6
Yep.
out here in West Houston.
No wonder he
Again.
can't get in.
The key doesn't work anymore.
It don't work.
Well, another thing Pennzoil's real big on, and
Yes.
mainly because we're kind of car nuts as well.
Yes.
You guys do a ton of automotive sponsorship, motorsport sponsorship.
Yes.
Whether it's
Yes.
NHRA, and I believe at NHRA it's the...
Oh, of course,
it's
Don
the
Schumacher
Schumacher
Racing.
team, right?
We're already knocking that out of the park with our top fuel dragsters and funny car crew.
Right.
That's Don. Not to mention Penske Racing.
Right.
Our oil was in the winter circle at Indy just this past couple of months.
What kind of oil does an Indy engine run?
You know what? You have to use an oil right off the shelf. This is what Indy states. So it uses a 0W20 racing oil that you can order it on Amazon.
Do they
because you
really?
have to-
Seriously?
it's a racing oil. And again, that's what they state. If you're going to have an Indy car, you got to have an oil that can be picked up by the average.
I learned
Joe
something
guy.
new. That's pretty cool.
Hey guys, it's expensive, but you can get it.
Money
But
is
you
no
can't-
object on
There's
any
no
wheel time.
object when it comes to racing.
Right,
But yeah.
It's not like Penske doesn't have deep pockets.
Oh my goodness! And think about it. We're in the Hennessy. John Hennessy, who's about to get out here and try to break that land speed record again, because it's been back and forth.
Is he going to go back? Is he going to go back to Hanford, California?
I don't know exactly, but I know he's got our Pennzoil again, our full synthetic with natural gas to run that again, because he did it. He did it a while back
In the Venom, yeah.
And the Venom, definitely.
So I have to ask you.
Yes.
I have to ask you about Mobile One. I know it's not your brand, but do you have a competitor to Mobile One?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, our Pennzoil Platinum or our Pennzoil Ultra Platinum. People ask, hey, you got two of them. Our Pennzoil Ultra Platinum made from natural gas has a more robust detergent. That's what you find. And you got to remember, guys, we're factory filling all the Hellcats, all the Demons, Ferrari, Maserati. It's a number of big boys we factory fill. So, I mean, people ask me all the time. I get that question on my technical hotline. Oh boy, can you beat Mobil? We don't sit out here and bash anybody. Mobil makes a good oil, but I got to tell you, their base oil is not ours. So you're looking at my line of oils made from natural gas. Oh, now hands down.
Is Pennzoil the primary provider of natural gas derived oil in the automotive industry right now?
Yes, we are the guys that's doing that. We have the patents. We have had
the technology's been there a long time. You guys are the ones that are big in the market.
We've been in the market for generations.
Right. Well, I ask you about the Mobil One because my Corvette, now, mind you, the Corvette is 20 years old, but it has on the oil filler cap used Mobil One.
It's been there since 1994. Okay. I'm telling you.
And so
right down that valve cover.
And so if I wanted to change and not use Mobil One, I could switch over to the Ultra, whatever it is.
Ultra.
You can use the Ultra Platinum 5W30 because that's what's going in your vet.
Okay, and it wouldn't hurt the warranty if I had such a thing.
No. Hey, that 4718 spec that's been around for Corvettes for many years. That's what came out in the mid 90s. 47, like I said, 4718M. That's the GM synthetic oil spec for your Corvettes. Blown that out of the water many years ago.
Because I'll tell you, my dad.
Yes.
This is way back in the 1950s now. He was a Texaco Haviland guy. 10W30. If it didn't have 10W30 in it, it wasn't worth
My
running.
dad as well, yeah.
Yeah. And so
you'd be hard pressed finding 1030 today.
Exactly.
Hey, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, and so when it came time for me to start owning cars, I kind of went in the Pennzoil direction. Mm-hmm. And somewhere along the way, I guess it was Corvette. I don't remember what it was, but somehow I thought, oh well, it says on the cap I need to use this particular brand, and I didn't even think that it would be okay to do switch brands. But now you're telling me it is okay.
No, it's simple.
It's no problem. Yeah. And some people say, if I switch, something's going to happen. Seals are going to leak and all.
Horse hockey.
No, just switch, use a good filter, cruise on down the boulevard.
Don's talking about his dad in old school. My dad would change the oil in the garage, and he would run 2 quarts of kerosene. He would fire up the car with kerosene to clean it out, and then drain that, and then put the oil back in.
Guys, I remember back in the day, I grew up in Virginia, Beach, Virginia, and I got to tell you, we had NASCAR tracks, we had dragsters, but I just remember the old timers years ago. Oh man, I'm going to pour kerosene or pour automatic transmission fluid down to clean it out.
Well, no, this was in the actual crankcase. He put the kerosene.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Not in the carburetor.
Wash it out.
Yeah.
No, we're talking poured it down to wash it out with the detergents and automatic. Right. No. So that was, you hear these things that the old guys used to do. Yeah, it works. Don't be pulling that stunt today.
Well, but you were saying earlier that your Premium Ultra has a higher level of detergency, which answers all those questions. Because to me, oil, and I know for you it does a whole bunch of other things, but to me, oil does 3 things. It cools, it cleans, and it lubricates.
That's right.
Keep it simple. I know there's a bazillion other things, and there's
but those are the simple things that oil has to do.
Right.
It's simple as that. I'm telling you.
And part of the cleaning is a quality filter. If you're going out and buying a 79-cent filter, you're doing yourself a disfavor.
Well, and let me just throw this in there. I noticed in some of the stuff that we checked in on you about that there now is a Pennzoil Platinum that helps extend engine life and protects up to 15 years or 500,000 miles. Now, protection and actual oil changes are 2 different things. You don't need to run the same oil for 500,000 miles. I just wanted to make that clear.
You have to make that clear because some people literally read that, look at that and think, oh boy, I could just leave it in forever.
Yeah, I never have to change my oil.
Oh, let me tell you, I've heard that over the years because we've had like the 100,000-mile one and different things like that. And people, I can leave it. No, it's not. That's not how it's written there. Yeah. So we have to explain.
Read the whole thing.
Well, what is your opinion of some of these manufacturers that are going with the extended oil change intervals? 10,000 is pretty common, but now you're starting to see some going to 15 and 20,000.
Of course, as you see some of the European vehicles, but you got to look at it. Technology in motor oil is not the same as it was 15 years ago. You think about just 18 years ago, 3 months, 3,000 miles on the vehicle.
Right.
Right now, we're talking about like our motor oil and even including the other rest of the guys. You have to meet the new requirements, formulations, and these oils can do it. Think about it. The engineers, the OEMs engineers have already ran these engines through the mill with these oils under severe conditions. So again, look at, let me tell you this quick story. I just want to take about a second. Got a fellow who had an old Buick. We're talking like 1998 Buick LeSabre. I'm telling you, but he bought a brand new LaCrosse. And this older gentleman is so used to changing it every 3 months, 3,000 miles. He calls me up and says, Mike, I'm going crazy. What's wrong? My oil life indicator is showing I got 10% left, and I've already got almost 8,000 miles on this. I'm afraid. I said, look, the OEMs are stating that you can go that. It's not going to hurt anything. The motor oil definitely can do those requirements. Don't worry. If you want to change it sooner, go right ahead. Yeah, that's no problem.
It's a small insurance policy, but the thing about the extended oil change the customer has to be aware of, the owner's manual says check your oil level every time you fill up with oil. We started this conversation earlier talking about low-speed pre-ignition and how engines burn oil. Well, you got to check your level because if you're going to try and go 10,000 miles, you may come up short.
Yep. And today in the owner's manual,
and that's not the cause of the oil. That's just the natural function of the engine.
Right.
That's right. That's like BMW. They got in bold letters. You're going to be losing oil before you get to that 10,000 miles. And so you better add accordingly.
Right. People don't know that the W in the nomenclature stands for winter.
That's right. A lot of people still think it's weight, but it's winter. Think about it, when that W came about the scene way back in the early 60s when they came out with the multi-viscosity motor oils.
Yep. So, wow. They had the commercials with it. Yep.
Real quick, Michael, before we run out of time, you mentioned you were a drag racer. So were you out at the Spring Nationals this year in Baytown?
Look, let me tell you, I didn't make it this time because due to the fact of, the scare, what's going on. So I didn't. I'm usually always there at the Spring Nationals constantly. But I plan on being to the one because, guys, it's going to be the last one.
Yep.
The last one, they're going to close it down and put storage space out there.
And we'll be there live, and we want to invite you on the show when we're there live.
I will be right there, fellas.
We'll be we'll be inside the Top Eliminator Club.
Michael, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you and talk to you, and we'll have to have you back on soon.
Oh, man, I love it. It's a pleasure to talk to you guys.
All right,
fellow gearheads, man.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot.
You bet. Thank you.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
He's excited about his product, but you can also tell he's a car guy.
And he knows his product.
Oh, yeah, very well.
Okay, time now for the cruise-in calendar. We've got several of those coming up. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to make my way over to Craig Bierman's cruise-in called Chrome and Coffee over at the Prince's at the Sharpstown Golf Center, which is a city-owned park, but Prince's Hamburgers has a little hamburger stand there.
Cool.
The final Princes of all time. So Saturday, August 14th is going to be the Knights of Columbus Spring Fling in Rosenberg, Texas. Usually that's a very big turnout show, 250, 300 cars. Houston Cars and Cocktails at Little Woodrow's is going to be August 29th at 11 a.m. On September 18th, the North Houston Cruisers Charity Show for the Lone Survivors is going to be at Rudy's Barbecue on Highway 249 in Tomball, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. with awards given out for 60 plus categories, and it's going to be $20 to pre-register, $25 to register at the show. The 50th anniversary celebration of the Houston Community College Automotive Program is going to be at the Northeast College Saturday, August 24th. That's 8001 Fulton Street. Setup for cars will be from 9:30 to 10:30, and then they'll have the awards and stuff will be given out at 1:30.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Lots of stuff coming up.
Time now for this hour's car review. Got to take a look at the 2021 Acura TLX.
All right.
Available trim levels, the base, the technology, the A-Spec, the Advance, and the Type S. Our reviewed trim level was the SH all-wheel drive A-Spec.
Super handling.
It's a good car.
What size and class? It is called a compact sedan, according to your government document that gets stuck
Really?
stuck to the window. How many passengers? 4, kind of. Exterior changes from last model year, all new for 2021. Exterior features include a longer, lower stance, along with a wider hood. It has absolutely the very latest. I can't even read my own
Super
writing.
sculptured front end on it.
Yeah, cutting edge look from Japan. Sexy grille that's proportionate in size with other elements of the front end. Hello, Lexus. Great wheel options with trim packages. What I liked about it, wow, it's one good-looking car, I think. What could use improvement? Huge question mark there because I don't know. Interior highlights kind of reflect the same with the exterior. Highly sculpted dash, great high-quality materials, highly bolstered seats, driver-centric layout. Look at that dashboard. Talk about some eye candy there. Cargo trunk room, small but adequate. Remember, this is a compact car. What I liked about it, the best-looking interior of the year.
Really?
That's my award.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely the best-looking interior of the year. What could use improvement? That darn touchpad-controlled infotainment thing, I don't know what the attraction to that is. All it really does is it puts the screen, as you can see on the picture there, way back on the top of the dash, too far away for a touch screen.
Yeah, it looks like you got to really reach
So
for
everybody and his mother is going with these touch pads. It adds another element of complexity to getting to move the damned radio station to do any kind of thing through the infotainment system. And these days, almost everything about the car is done through the infotainment system.
Yeah,
it just adds an extra element. You have to take your eyes off the road. Now I got to concentrate on where my finger is on the pad. I got to get the little cursor to move down to what I want it to do. It's too distracting, and it's a pain in the butt. Go away from that.
Tell us what you think, Tom.
Yeah.
2-liter turbo 4-cylinder that turns out 272 horsepower.
Wow.
Yeah. 280 pound-feet of torque through a 10-speed automatic transmission. This thing
That's
hauls
a motor
butt.
scooter.
Now, understand that this is the base engine. The high-performance V6, the turbocharged V6, over 350 horsepower. Hello.
Yeah, wow.
Got 21 miles per gallon city, 29 highway for combined to 24. I got 26.8 because of my old decrepit poor foot.
Huh.
That was over 404 miles. What I liked about it, the nice power match with the 10-speed automatic transmission. This is Japanese cutting-edge technology in a really slick-looking package. What could use improvement? Me getting the optional Type S with the 3-liter V6 with 355 horsepower.
Hello, Acura.
That could use improvement. So get me one of those.
But you love this car.
Just say it. Yes.
It's good looking.
Ride and handling, the all-wheel drive, it rocks that cornering, man.
Well, and the super handling all-wheel drive is the other key because you get some rear steer out of that.
Yeah, what could use improvement? Race tires. That's what it needs. It's all that it needs. Base trim price $46,250, which in my estimation ain't bad.
No.
Price is tested $47,275.
Oh, that's
worth
even better.
every
Yeah.
bit of that. Base model, if you just want to get into one of these, is $37,500. I was really surprised at that.
Right in the sweet spot.
Yep. Competitors include the Audi A4 for $39,100, The BMW 3 Series for $41,250, and the Mercedes-Benz Mercedes-Benz C-Class for $45,625. This is a bargain. If you like Japanese cutting edge, this is your ticket, baby. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast source. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Wheel Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show, your weekly go-to all things automotive place. Just ahead, we talk to our buddy Mark Rancourt with Sweet Rides and peep in the shop, I hope, to see what's brewing out there. We'll have This Week in Auto History and get you updated on the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy along with Mike out of This World Mars. King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff Zeka.
We do.
I'm Don Armstrong.
Peeping Don.
Don't look.
Peeping down.
But thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it for another hot Saturday. Car show tomorrow, cruise in, Chrome and Coffee. That's Craig's.
I was going to say, who does that show?
Who do that?
Who do that?
Speed and Sport Chrome.
Yeah, Speed and Sport Chrome, but we don't really go into all that. It's a good get-together, a bunch of old friends and people that we don't know come on in, and we get to meet them and have hamburgers and
Coffee and breakfast tacos.
Yeah, it's fun.
Does Bierman bring out some of his toys?
What toys would those be?
He's got a collection of cars, doesn't he?
No, well,
A couple of
but
vets.
No,
Thought he had
he
a,
and his
a
wife.
Viper too.
No. Does he have a Viper? No, he doesn't have a Viper.
He's got a GT.
He's got a Ford GT, and he's got the new Corvette.
Well, his wife has a new
And
Corvette.
he's also got the 30.
It's a bus.
I think it's 36.
36. No, the bad car, the awesome car, the show car. You haven't seen that yet. You will.
And he's got the bus. He's got a school bus.
Yeah, he has the school bus.
The bus bar.
The bus bar. Yeah, that's exactly right. Speaking of
But
bars,
that's not a collection of cars.
No.
Yeah.
But the bus bar's got a pole in it. I think.
I know where there's like about a 61 maybe Corvette that we might could
let's
look
get
at.
him up
well,
right
let's
now.
just get
do
in,
that. There he is.
into Mr. Mark Rancourt. Hi, Marky. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Well, we're doing great. The mayor of Magnolia, ladies and gentlemen, Mark Rancourt, right here.
No, sir.
You don't have enough to do. You need to run for office.
If nominated,
Oh,
I'm not
no.
running. If elected, I'm not serving.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Correct.
Mark, how have you been? How are things out there at Sweet Rides?
We've been good. Everything's real good out here, with the time, so I can't complain. The lots of customers, lots of cars. Problem is trying to find help.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Well, I mean,
Finding good help's even harder.
well, have you ticked off all the old staff and trying to find new, or what?
No, people move on. People moved out of state, so out here we've got a crew of 5. So I could really use 2 more, but I'm not going to just hire. I want to hire good qualified guys.
Well, you've actually called the right place, because it just so happens that we are an employee service, so we'll try to find you somebody and send them out there.
You bet.
Yeah. So long as we don't have to define what qualified means, we're okay.
It just so happens that we knew a collision shop used to be out there off of 290, and we understand that they've got some employees that you could raid over there.
Or do the
Oh
work.
yeah, they got some good ones too.
Yeah, no doubt, because you hired them. Well, Mark, so what do you got in the shop today? What are we working on?
Oh, hey, let me swing around and show you guys a few things.
Please do. We love coming out and taking a look at what's going on out there at Sweet Rides.
That's what I want to see
There
there.
you go.
What is that, a
So we've
6?
got
That's
a 59.
59.
Oh.
It's pre
Going back all original. The customers own the vehicle since 61.
Holy cow!
Wow. And
Yeah.
I did
unusual.
not know that you did fiberglass work.
Oh, well, this is about our 5th Corvette we've done.
I'll be.
Yeah.
So what engine did it have in it, or will
He's
it?
gonna have a little 327 in it.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's just a super, super nice car. We're getting it finished up so we can get it back down on the frame and stuff.
So
And red with white coves is such a traditional
Yeah.
color pattern on that Corvette.
Yeah,
Looks
the
gorgeous.
original Roman red color with the original white.
And that's the white, not the, because they offered kind of an off-white as well, didn't they?
Yeah, this is called Snowcrest white.
Snowcrest, okay.
So is it the original suspension you're putting back under it, or are you having something else?
No, original suspension. He wants to keep it all original.
Well, if he's
Now
owned
we've
it since 61, I can believe that. That'd
59.
be cool.
Yeah. So now that I've got another Corvette down in the body shop that we'll put a custom frame under and put an LS in it.
Yeah. Well, that'll work too.
What year did you say it was?
This is a 59 here, and the one I have down in the body shop's a 63 split window.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
So you're going to resto mod an original split window.
Correct.
Was it just a 300 horse car?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know. The customer just bought the car. When I show it to you, it's an Evel Knievel throwback car.
Oh, how cool.
So they used it for, it looks like road racing is what they originally used it for.
Nice.
And then
And over here we got a little Land Cruiser
I was
that
gonna say,
we're finishing up. So
the
this
Toyota
thing's
Land
almost
Cruiser.
ready to go home.
Looks like it's a matching sister to the Corvette.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the year of the red, so we got a lot going on out here. Lots of red this year, and the year of the 4-wheel drives. I've got this 78 Bronco right over here that we're trying to finish. So that frame's at the powder coater, so we'll get that done here shortly.
Another red boy.
red.
Well, the Broncos, it's amazing to me the following that early small Bronco has here in Houston.
And that thing was a piece of crap back in the day. I mean, I'm sorry, but it was. You know that.
Well, originally with a 4-cylinder, eventually they stuck the 302 in it, but
I know, but
it was a rust bucket.
Yeah, that and the fit and finish was just terrible. Those cars were terrible.
Did you have to put a lot of sheet metal on it to fix the rust, Mark?
Well, on that one, that's a 78, so that's that 2-year only body style.
Okay.
He gave me 2 Broncos, and we have taken a bunch of parts off one to make one.
So it's a donor. You had a donor.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a donor. Now you're talking about the small Broncos. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Figure this out.
Get to look at the dirt inside
There
your
you
fingers
go.
there.
There you
Oh,
There you go. That's what
sweet.
you're talking about.
That is a sweet ride
Yeah.
there.
Is it purple?
No, it's
No,
silver.
it's gray, like a gunmetal gray.
Okay.
Lots of little subtle changes to it, but nice and clean. And we changed out the quarter panels to the upgraded quarter panels, as you can see.
Was this also a frame off or just modification?
Yeah, this is customer bought this as a halfway running vehicle, and we disassembled it and went through the whole thing, frame off, and now we're just putting it back together.
Nice.
And how much time, if I can ask, has this truck spent with you?
This one's been here for 7 months.
Okay.
Well, that's not bad at all.
No.
Well, if you consider the amount of work that's done, frame off, they're cleaning everything up, putting it all back together, make sure all the right parts
And
are
the
there.
donor. The donor helps.
It's not that unusual.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, this one, lots of new sheet metal on this one, so it made it pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, that's and it's cool that they make all that sheet metal for that generation Bronco right now because again, it's got such a big.
Well, these
following.
things are hot. With the new ones coming out, this is what everybody wants. So apparently, you can't find even a rusted out one for less than 40,000.
What?
I've
my
seen
gosh.
some in the 30s, but it was like you couldn't
my
even put it on a
God,
trailer and
you've
roll it
got
up.
to be kidding me.
And what's a new one go for?
Not too much more.
I'm not
than
sure
that.
what the new ones go for.
That's
And then
But you think
I'll show you my Evil Knievel throwback car. Ready? There you go.
Oh, sign me up. That'll work.
So we'll strip that down to fiberglass and bring it all back up from
So you're gonna
from
jump.
scratch.
You're gonna jump Snake River with it.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna jump the Snake River with it.
No, just Green's
Yeah.
bio.
Are you going back with
Right.
You're going to have the same paint configuration?
No, absolutely
Thank
not.
God.
We're actually going to paint that one. Yeah, no, they were going to paint that one white, I believe.
Okay.
So the customer that we're building that for, he'll build. He's done 3 or 4 of them. He sold 3 at Barrett Jackson and 1 at Meekum. So we'll build this one to probably sell at Meekum. I think he wants it ready for the Indy show.
Oh, okay.
And then, will you do the interior, or does the interior go out to somebody else?
No, it goes out to somebody else. They found an interior shop here in town, and when they use him, if he does a good job, then I'll probably start trying to use this gentleman too.
Okay.
Okay.
Got your
Local where
Smoky.
you can.
Is that a Trans Am or is that just a regular Firebird?
No, it's Trans Am. This one
Okay, I
here,
see the fenders.
he's put an LS motor in it.
Okay,
And
79,
then he'll do the
80,
Yeah,
81,
and then-
79.
I think it's a 79.
Yeah.
It might be an 80, but he's just gonna throw the motor in it and go drive for a while, and then Then he may do some paint work too.
Let's tub it out.
Because you got to save up money and just do it piece by piece.
Yeah,
Which
well.
is
yeah.
it's the way a lot of people do it today. I want to do the important thing first. Let's put a motor and a drivetrain in it. Let me drive it around and beat it up, and then I'll do all the body work on it.
Sure.
Yep.
And then I've got this little 5-window we're trying to finish up here that should be ready. All I got left on this is doing alignment, and then it's going to go to the upholstery shop.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Mm-hmm. What color? What color is that?
Well, we just made a green for him. He originally had it as a John Deere green, and I told him we weren't going to paint his truck John Deere green.
If you want to paint it John Deere green, you got to send it over to someplace else.
Yeah, get the rattle cans out.
It almost looks teal. Almost looks like
I was
teal
going to say
color.
it's got kind of a teal tone to it.
Yeah, it's a really nice color, especially in the sun. But so we made him the color. He had a sample of a shirt, so we matched up to the shirt as best as we could. So it came out really, really nice.
Mark, I have to ask you. Now, you're a car guy, and you deal with all these custom cars, these beautiful, complete resto mods, actual originals. You deal with all that stuff. Mm-hmm. What kind of car do you drive, Mark?
I've got a 67 Camaro SSRS.
You don't drive
Numbers
that
matching.
back and forth to work.
Absolutely, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, the
Is it
transmission's messed up
Is it there
in it
now?
right now. Yeah, it's on the lift in the paint shop because I got the transmission out of it.
Okay.
So my brother was one of my mechanics at the big shop, and he knows how to fix standard transmissions. So he's got it over at the shop he's working at now, and as soon as I get it back, I'll start driving it again.
Just so happens it's not available.
Wow.
I guess that's Don ringing in.
Yeah, I
Don
guess so.
ringing in.
I tried to rebuild a Muncie transmission once. It worked for about 50 feet.
Wasn't even enough time to get a 60-foot time out of it.
No,
But
couldn't even do that.
the warranty was 40 feet.
Yeah, it was.
So what's the future look like for you guys? You still have a lot of other vehicles in the queue?
Yeah,
Waiting to come in?
We've been doing a lot of work for Roy over at Camaro Concepts also. So there's one that just came back from a upholstery shop, I believe, out of Tennessee. And I believe that's going to be down at the show, if they have the show this year. That's going to be a real nice car. That thing's probably got about 250,000 in it.
Wow.
So we ended up painting the whole underside of the car, painting all the suspension. It really came out really, really nice.
Well, I talked to Larry about 2 weeks ago. We're going to hope to have him on the show here before the end of the month, before the end of August. And he says Houston's going to happen unless somebody steps in. But right now, they're gearing up for it.
Good.
Well, that's good because we haven't had it in, 2 years, correct?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Mark,
Yeah.
I have to ask, how are things going with Sweet Rides? Because, a few years back, you and I sat down and had lunch together, and you said, Don, I've got to get out of this body shop business, which you did. And, you were going to put all of your time into Sweet Rides. How are things going for you personally? Good? You liking it?
Yeah, it's the stress level's way down. It took me probably a good 6 or 8 months to kind of slow down a little bit as far as not being that fast-paced mode with the collision side. So it really took a little bit to kind of learn how to slow down and just relax a little bit and take my time.
Enjoy it.
So
more now.
you're enjoying life finally for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and it's fun to mess with the old cars. They're frustrating, just like working on a new car, but that's the joy of it. And the thing about the old cars, you get to play a little bit.
Well, I know that the last time that I was physically out there, you had a Mustang that I go, oh my God, I would shoot myself if I had to work on that. It had been wrecked. And then once you started peeling away the wreck damage on it, then you ran into all of these rust issues with it.
Yeah.
It was an absolute nightmare. I don't know how I would, yeah.
So did you finish that or did you scrap it?
Nope, it's all finished. We put a whole new front end on it. So we got all brand new parts, 2 front frame rails, all the inner fenders, and actually got it running.
Wow.
So dropped the motor back in it and customer drove it out of here.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's one of those you just got to. Where
do I start?
Yeah, because one problem leads to another problem to another problem.
Yeah, and the more disassembly you do, the more disassembly you got to do.
And you keep peeling back the layers. And, I'm sure that you probably run into that quite frequently on some of these old cars that, somebody's picked up at an auction or they've bought outright or they've gone online and bought something. And, they want to get this little piece of rust fixed on the lower quarter panel. And that one thing leads to an entire paint job and tons of work.
Pretty soon you're chopping it.
It does. It'll just keep snowballing. So if I get customers to come in and say, hey, I just want to do this. Well, if I do this, we got to go into this panel. If we go into that panel, so it's like, where do you stop? You can't just come in and do a quick patch and expect it to be 100%,
right.
Because it's just going to keep going on you.
My question is, when are you going to get your own TV show?
Bo, no thanks. I don't need a camera. I don't want a camera in my face all day long.
Well, I will tell you this from somebody that's been in the television business for a long time, and I know how these reality shows work. And let me tell you something, man, that is no fun. As a matter of fact, there's a guy up there called Phantom Works.
Yep.
Yep.
And he finally said, I've had
out.
enough. I'm
Yeah.
losing money
Yes.
because of all of the stuff that they had to go back and reshoot because the producer says, well, that didn't quite work out. We need you to recreate that or do this or do that. It's time consuming. And unless you've got a shop that can pretty much run itself, man, you don't want to get involved
And in his
that.
case, he was losing employees because they didn't want to work the overtime.
You know what I call those shows?
Tell me.
I call them man soap operas.
Pretty much.
I stare at them.
You stare at them.
Yeah, I do. I mean, some of them I find intriguing. So, Mark, what's in store for you? Are you going to have a car or a customer car that, besides that one that you mentioned, that you're going to show at Autorama this year?
Yeah, we're going to try to probably have that little Land Cruiser. I know the gentleman with that big Bronco. He wants that down at the show. I got this Blazer that the same gentleman that owns that little gray Bronco. That's why I call the little gray Bronco Mini-Me. We did a C10 Blazer for him that's at the transmission shop right now. So if I do the car show this year, I'm going to call it the year of the four-wheel drives and just have a big booth with a bunch of four-wheel drives we did.
Well, I was going to say, I think that you need to have a Sweet Rides booth and show off some of your works down there. I mean, why not? You know, and a lot of guys don't do it that way, but that's what I would offer.
They focus on the car, not the work to be done.
Right. Well, and the fact that you it shows all the things that you can do when you've got more than one car.
Exactly.
In there. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not like we just want to do a bunch of four-wheel drives. That just this is how it happened.
Yeah. Well, we wish you the best of luck. We'll catch up with you before Thanksgiving, but it's always good to talk to you, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your Saturday to talk to us. And get back to work, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, thank you guys very much.
We love you, man. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Mark Rancourt. Name of the company is Sweet Rides.
Nice.
And I had had dealings with Mark years ago, and we did the the first in-wheel time machine, the '66 Corvair, and it took a little over a year, I guess it was. But I will tell you what, it was a stunning car when they got finished with it. I got pictures of it, and everybody complimented the car. And all of the work that had been done to it, and it really did look good. And if you were to have seen that car when I bought that car, you'd think, oh, my God. Would I ever do it again? Absolutely not.
Well, it turned out so well, though. We had it at Autorama those 2-3 years we had it down there.
Yeah.
I mean, people would just make all kinds of comments about it.
Well, it was unusual in the younger crowd. And would you do it again if it was a different vehicle?
A 69 Zeos.
That's what I was thinking,
Z28.
Camaro side. Or that Corvette out there. Would you do some mods to that?
Yeah. Yes, but not to the extent that I did with the Corvair. Because the Corvair, remember, it got pulled out of a field.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was really, really tired.
Mm-hmm. And it was brown.
It actually looked like it was red primer. But that was the original paint on it. Aztec bronze. Thank you, Chevrolet.
Nice.
Oh. And if I'd have done it all over again, I would not have bought one with an automatic transmission, nor would I have bought that weak engine that was in it. I would have bought the upscaled engine with the 4 one-barrel carburetors on it.
Well, would you do it for another car?
What made that one so interesting was because it had the original paint on. There was so much of it that was original, and the fact it was local. It came from a local dealer, stayed here all its life.
Knapp Chevrolet.
Still had the badging on it. To me, that's kind of what made that vehicle unique.
I agree. And you know, the other thing was it had never been in a serious accident. It had a couple of whiskey bumps on it, but it had never been in a serious accident, and it didn't have a lot of rust on it.
Right.
The biggest rust issue was up underneath the windshield on the upper cowl,
Which
and I
is
bought
very
a
common.
new piece cowl, and Mark pulled it out of there and welded a new one in. You couldn't even tell. And, it was nice when it was done, but oof. This week in auto history.
Well, we've had a few of our drag race friends join us. Jerry Emmons is watching.
Oh, the Emmons, yeah.
Stan and Sheila Holt are watching.
Oh, that's good,
A shout out to our NHRA friends out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So should we do this week in auto history?
This week in auto history.
All right, let's do that.
In 1888, Philip Pratt demonstrated the first electric vehicle. This three-wheeler in Boston, Massachusetts, the tricycle powered by 6 electrical accumulator cells, and it only weighed about 90 pounds. You talk about range anxiety. I could see Don just freaking out riding around in this.
Now, wait, we've had a rash or a consistency.
Yeah, you'd get a rash driving that
consistency of electric vehicles, because I did one, and then you're doing one, so okay.
Okay, and then in 1904, the newly formed General Motors Corporation acquired the country's leading luxury automobile maker, Cadillac, for $4.5 million.
That's a Cadillac?
That's a Cadillac in
you better
1904.
Okay.
Cadillac was founded out of the ruins of automotive pioneer Henry Ford's second failed company.
That's right.
His third effort became Ford Motor Company. The second company became Cadillac. And when the shareholders of the defunct Henry Ford Company called Detroit machinist Henry Leland, Leland bought the assets of the failed second company and convinced them to stay in business. His idea was to combine Ford's latest chassis and a single-cylinder engine developed by who? Oldsmobile.
There you go. And if you look real close, there's a V emblem on that.
In 1941, the American automaker Henry Ford sits down at his desk in Dearborn, Michigan, and writes a letter to Mahatma Gandhi, praising Gandhi's campaign of civil disobedience.
Oh, Mahatma.
Aimed at forcing the British colonial government out of India.
He makes some rice, doesn't he?
And send your comments to Jeff at InWheelTime.com. In 1973, Bonnie and Clyde's bullet-riddled 1934 Ford V8 was sold at auction for $175,000 to Peter Simon in Nevada, and the car is still on display at one of the museums out there, or one of the casino museums out there. So Henry Ford received a personal letter congratulating him on the performance of the V8 from John Dillinger, and that letter is on display at in Dearborn. In 1990, the last Citroën Deux Chevaux, the tin snail.
Douche what?
Douche Chevaux. Like two.
Douche Chevaux.
Douche. It's Deux Chevaux.
Okay.
The 2CV, known as the tin snail for its distinctive shape, it rolled off the assembly line in Portugal in 1990. Since 1948, they sold almost the exact same looking car, and they sold 5.1 million
of these.
Ugh, gosh, the French.
Removable rooftops.
The French are unique. In 1998,
they're the ones that came up with the word douche. Douche bag.
On this day in this week in 1998, South Korea's government opened bidding for Kia Motor Corporation that was going through bankruptcy. And on a handshake deal, Hyundai managed to win the auction that October, having offered the highest bid. Daewoo was the runner-up. As a subsidiary of Hyundai, Kia has made improvements in their car and their quality and their reliability.
Daewoo bag.
But it was a handshake deal. We'll get back to
the license plate says
And
Pride.
then in 2003, the last Volkswagen Beetle was produced, and they were all in this baby blue color.
Nice.
They built 21.5 million Volkswagen Beetles since it first started rolling off the assembly line at the end of World War II.
By the way, now that you're done with that, I did want to try to squeeze in this story about this guy by the name of Trevor Milton, the founder of electric truck maker Nikola Corporation, has been indicted on charges of making false and misleading statements to investors.
Pushed it downhill.
Milton resigned in September of 2020. His lawyers released a statement saying their client is innocent. Milton, 39, pleaded not guilty at a hearing, U.S. District Court in Manhattan, to 2 counts of securities fraud, blah, 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 blah. In one instance, while he was trying to sell the stock, in which the vehicle was filmed for a promotional film, the tape was used to keep the used to keep the doors of a truck prototype from opening, according to prosecutors. To make it appear the truck was driving, it was towed to the top of a hill and then rolled down to the bottom, according to the indictment.
Because there was no powertrain in it.
No, there was nothing. And they used actual 110-volt plugs to make the lights work.
Yep.
Milton allegedly repeatedly said publicly that the prototypes were fully operational and overstated the number of pre-orders the company had received. Bail was set at $100 million, from which he's apparently gotten out. Each criminal count carries 20 to 25 years. U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filed related civil suits.
Yeah, he'll be leaving prison in a drum case, headed for Lebanon with Goshen.
Oh, Lord of mercy. Well, that's it for this hour of In Wheel Time. We'll be back after a quick break. Stay with us.
Whether you own a newer car or want to keep your older one humming along for a while longer, think of Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln to keep things in tip-top shape. From oil changes to major repairs, you can depend on the highly skilled service pros at Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevrolet, and Bayway Lincoln to perform fast, efficient service to keep your investment running strong. For all your service needs, remember Bayway. Schedule your next appointment online anytime. Bayway, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Just ahead, we talk with the general manager at Bayway, Lincoln Stahl, about the current status of the new and used car vehicle markets. We need more. Jeff will tout his pre-owned car of the week, the 2019 Mustang EcoBoost. We got the racing calendar. Conrad has his car clinic, and we'll also have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. That and more just ahead on this edition of In Wheel Time. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong. We need more Jeff
We
Zekin.
do.
I'm Don Armstrong.
Because nobody else wants to be.
No, they don't. Yeah, run, Forrest.
Right, Forrest. Yeah.
A box of chocolate.
Anyway, time now to visit with general manager of one of the local dealerships, premier dealerships, Bayway. And joining us right now is Lincoln Stahl. He's GM of the Chevy store, the Lincoln store, and the Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chrysler store.
Wow, that's
Lincoln,
a lot.
hey, buddy, it's good to talk to you. Good
We
to see
doing,
you.
fellas?
Well, we're doing
Long
good.
time no see.
I know. You've been doing okay?
Yeah. I've been shaking and moving, and getting the kids through summer and trying to survive the ever-changing world of the automotive business.
Well,
that's for
I
sure.
noticed that you've got a little less hair than you did last time, because I'm sure that you're pulling it out, trying to find cars to sell.
That's daily. It's a daily. It's actually really going back to last year, and it's changed, obviously. The reasoning has changed, but it seems like going back to last year, my job description changed. And, going back to last year, I designate an hour a day, just literally cold calling other dealerships, trying to see if anybody wants to sell inventory.
Boy, that's a throwback.
Really?
Man, I'll tell you, I flew over, I guess, the Chevy store a couple days ago, and I noticed that there sure is a lot of concrete showing. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, that lot, I think before COVID, we typically ran with around, if 600 to 650 new cars and probably 200 used cars was what that lot usually had.
Yep.
It would spike up a little bit more going into like the spring season and whatnot like that, going into the winter. But it's been a struggle at Chevy to stock more than 60 on the ground.
Wow.
And now you got the thing I tell people is, everyone's like, when's it going to be over? And I tell people it'll be at least a year, because you got to understand, even if the manufacturer ramped up and started, if they had the parts and they ramped up and started making vehicles for 3 shifts a day, which who knows if they would do or not. But even if they did that, you got to remember, when they start shipping these vehicles, the reason we can't get inventory, even though we're getting some vehicles in, we can't get any inventory in stock, is because the demand is still higher than what they're able to ship. So most times at all 3 dealerships, I have vehicles coming, and there's a good majority of them that are sold with deposits retail agreements signed, and the customer's waiting for their car to come off the truck.
And I assume that it's not necessarily customers that have ordered cars from the factory. They'll just take whatever you got coming.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where they come in, you put eyes on the lot, and it depends on everyone's needs, right? Like if you need something, if you, God forbid, had an accident or something happened to your vehicle or whatever it may be, if you need something, then it seems like most times people have to settle or make some concessions for what their dream vehicle was, per se. Occasionally, if I have a friend will reach out to me or whatever and say, hey, I want a Tahoe, and I'll look real quick, and there's nothing available, and I just tell them, let's just order you one, because they might have their vehicle still, and they're not in need of one. They want one.
Yeah, they don't have an immediate need.
So that way we can order it and still get them exactly what they want.
Yeah, but that's not something you're going to have on your lot available to show somebody. It's going to show up on a truck, and you're going to deliver it out. So it's here and gone that quick.
Well, to that point, Lincoln, you said you spend an hour a day cold calling other dealerships. If I come in there and you don't have something on the ground, would you call another dealership to find me a vehicle?
Yeah, so that's always been a deal. I mean, that's been a thing that, we all have our trading partners, and there's always been a little bit of, for the most part, most of the dealerships will trade back and forth, and, it's kind of a I help you.
Gentleman's agreement. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's gotten to the point where, you try and you call. Most times it's hard to find what someone's looking for, even at another dealership.
Yeah, and they're not going to give you a Silverado for the Bolt.
Right, exactly.
Come on.
You need to have, so when we call, that's how the conversation goes. Before they can tell you no, you call up and you say, hey, I'm checking on this Tahoe at the last date of the VIN, and I got 2 Tahoes to give you back.
It's like the end.
I got 2 Tahoes for you to pick from. I got a similar color to give you back, or whatever. Maybe you got to tell them that, because they're not interested in trading unless it's one of those deals where they have a vehicle sold and they can't get it, and you happen to have it, and then it just works out for everybody.
It's like the NBA draft going on.
Yeah,
trading's definitely been a lot tougher than it's been in.
Well, and I heard that General Motors just announced that they're going to slow production on the mid-sized CUV utilities to drive all of the chip production to full-size trucks and utilities.
Yeah, so Chrysler did that, or Stellantis. I lose track of what they are nowadays. But Stellantis, I still call them Dodge, the Dodge store. But Stellantis did that. They came up with a plan, and their plan early on was, we're going to take all of our chips and we're going to make Rams and Jeeps, which really made all the sense in the world. I mean, it's not, I miss getting our Hellcats and our wide body Scat Packs and all that stuff, but the amount of those that we used to get was a couple a month, and we're one of the biggest dealerships around as far as the SRT8 program goes. So we definitely miss that, but the majority of our clients, they're buying Rams and Jeeps. Right. So they were pretty smart, in my opinion, to stand back and take a look and say, okay, where's our bread and butter? where are we going to be able to retain the most market share and or gain the most market share, because you got, the F Series and the Silverado, they're slowing down on those. So Stellantis did that a while back, and out of the 3 stores, and even if you look around the city, the Dodge stores, they have the most inventory. It's nowhere near enough, but we have the most inventory there. A couple months ago, I'd look from my office out on the lot, and I'd have 1 row of trucks, and they were turned at 45-degree angles. And,
just to make it look like there was more of them.
Yeah, I'm looking out there right now. We have 2.5 real rows of trucks now, so we have some inventory. So I think they're kind of spinning off of that, copying that, and it only makes sense. You're getting X amount of parts and X amount of microchips. Let's use them on the product that we're going to sell the most, which, of course, is trucks.
Yeah, do you ever wind up with a Chevrolet customer comes in and says, "Look, I want a fully loaded Silverado, and do you have anything?" And you don't have anything. Do you ever send them over to the Dodge store?
Yeah, and the nice thing is, if I happen to be at the Chevy store, I can walk them out and show them my Ram.
Yeah. Let me show you real quick here.
Yeah. Well,
no, I mean, it's of course, I don't want to take I don't want to take from my guys at Chevy, but my mind is obviously always on the group.
As well as serving your company. As serving your customers.
Exactly.
Correct. So mine's always on the group, and at the end of the day, we want to retain and conquest as many customers and have we want all of them. We can't have them all, but we want to get as many as we can and take care of as many as we can. And if that means showing that actually happened before. I've had a lot of customers that in the past have leased Grand Cherokees from me, and the Grand Cherokee lease, as we were coming up on the new release of the Grand Cherokee L, the Grand Cherokee lease was no longer it wasn't a good lease anymore, because the banks are looking at it and they're going, "Hey, I don't want this thing back in 3 years. There's a new one out." So the residual values would be bad on them. So folks that have been leasing Grand Cherokees for 2 or 3 years lease cycles, they're coming in looking for their $400 Grand Cherokee payment, and we're telling them it's $700. And it wasn't a reflection of what we were selling the vehicle for, but what the bank had set the residuals at.
Right.
So there was a lot of people, a lot of close friends that came in, and I let them look at the Grand Cherokee, and we showed them the Cherokee and the Compass and everything else, and showed them what the payments were, and it was just out of their budget. And I put them in the car and drove them over to Chevy and sold them a Blazer, because the program was good on the Blazer. So it's one of those things I never want to take from one of the stores, but we want to.
But you don't want to lose.
Keep them in the Bayway family.
You got to look at the big picture, is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So
cool. Well, with that in mind, comes the question about used cars.
Uh-oh.
Is there such a thing on your lot anymore?
We have a bunch, and that's become an issue for dealers, and we all knew it was coming. So when new car production halts, obviously the used car market gets extremely hot. So, and you're not getting a ton of trade-ins because you're not selling a whole bunch of new cars. So the trade-ins kind of go bye-bye. So you're at the auction and you're buying used car inventory, and the auction's higher than it's ever been, and book values are inflated and values are inflated. And it's one of those deals. You're at the auction, you're buying vehicles, but you know that you need them to be successful and to keep going. But you also know at some time that bubble's going to burst.
Yeah. So you're upside down at the auction.
Yeah. So and we've done our best as a group to come up with a plan to kind of get ahead of that, because we knew it was coming.
What do you give me for a 2001 Corvette C5?
That black one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good car.
Well, the other thing that's happened that I think has impacted the auction is the rental agencies, which were a feeder to the auctions. They're stopping as well, so they're not doing double and triple cycling.
Exactly. My wife has taken her car in for a little fender bender, and they told her to call the rental car facility before she made an appointment to guarantee she had a car. That's amazing.
Next time your wife has a fender bender, I have loaners at Bayway Chevrolet.
She's got it all handled.
But listen,
just saying.
But so the rental car companies, not only going through what we've gone through, the rental car companies twice in the last year have completely flipped the used car market upside down. Mm-hmm. So when COVID hits and people quit traveling,
they dumped.
They sell off their fleets. Okay. So they take thousands and thousands and thousands of vehicles and just jam them into the auction place which dumps the value on all the vehicles. So going back to May and June of last year, we all got inventory on our lot, and they jammed thousands of vehicles into the market, which so everything is supply and demand. So they drop the value. All the values drop on used car vehicles because there's now way too many for what the demand is. So we get through that. We go through, it's a couple months. We get through that. And now it's to the point where the used car market's coming back. And this was, 6-7 months ago. Well, then the travel ban restrictions get lifted and people start traveling again. And they had been turning away, the rental car companies have been turning away their allocation with the factories. So a lot of their cars come directly from GM or Ford or Toyota or whoever it may be. And the reason I know they were turning the allocations away, because I had my rep reaching out to me going, hey, I got these 20 vehicles, these 20 Silverados that Hertz had ordered, and they popped into the system, said they don't want them anymore. Do you want them?
You didn't hesitate.
So I was actually taking new car inventory into my inventory that was pre-ordered by the rental car companies. So instead of shipping it to them, they shipped it to me. So I know they were giving up their allocation. So anyways, the travel ban lifts and people start traveling. Well, now they have no vehicles. Right. So now they're going to the auction and they're buying vehicles. So now, and they don't care because they're gonna make money on the vehicle. They don't have to sell it. They don't have to worry about a book value. They're buying the vehicle. They're going to rent it. They're going to make money, and they're going to depreciate it over time.
So they're running up the price.
So now they're at the auction with their hand up. They just they get in the lane and put their hand up until the gavel drops. So they're running the prices up at the auction. But now it's to the point where there's a whole bunch of areas. You could actually. I had a guy text me the other day, a rep from, I believe it was Avis, and they're actually. These Avis guys are going dealership to dealership trying to buy used car inventory from the dealership. So it's kind of funny. They're doing their business. They're trying to survive also, but it's tanked the used car market twice now.
What is your take on when this is going to end and try to get semi back to normal as far as getting inventory, not only new but used as well, and you're able to service the lease cars that are coming in, that sort of thing. What do you see for the future with the chips and all?
I think it'll be. I think by mid fourth quarter, there'll be enough supply coming in where people will have to be patient, but they'll be able to get a vehicle.
So in other words, what you're saying is if you can wait 4 or 5 months, you should be good to go.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Like we're telling people now, you come because this is another problem. So. We've trained people for 100 years in the business to negotiate. Well, the problem is we also learned in second grade, about supply and demand. So if anything, anything in the world, if there's more demand than there is supply, then the deals aren't quite as good. So the manufacturer has removed a bunch of the incentives that they've typically had on vehicles, which makes the vehicle more expensive for a consumer. So what we've been telling people is if we don't have the vehicle, you don't need the vehicle. Let's order the vehicle for you. And we'll promise you when we order it, we'll promise supplier pricing for you. So you buy the vehicle just below invoice. We'll promise you just below invoice. And then by then, there's due to be some more incentives out than there is now. There's no way that it couldn't be. So just the deal will be better and we'll take better care of you on the vehicle if you order it. So it's if you're not in a hurry, I think the best thing to do is pop into the local dealership, order yourself a vehicle.
Yeah, and that.
Not to mention you got 22. They're starting to build 2022s here and there, and it'll be big. So at this point now, you can wait for the 2022 and get.
Yeah, if there's a hit to be taken, you'll take the hit rather than the consumer.
Well, and like you said, the manufacturers' incentives are declining because manufacturers' incentives is driven by days supply.
Exactly.
Well, your days supply right now is counted in days instead of weeks and months.
Yeah.
So there's no
we
reason.
Have like Dodge, I probably have upper 20s day supply.
Oh my gosh.
Lincoln and Chevy, I've been operating for months on a 10-day supply.
Wow.
Yeah, that hurts. Okay, so let's move on to the service department. How are things going there? Gangbusters?
You have two issues in the service departments: parts supply and loaner cars.
Didn't even think about parts supply.
Yeah, the parts supplies have slowed down. Again, by manufacturer, it's harder on some things than others. But we try to. I got some good parts managers at all the stores, and I think they do a pretty good job of recognizing, what's going wrong with vehicles and getting ahead of any recall that's coming or whatever to make sure we have parts in stock. But But parts stock in general has dropped for most dealerships because they haven't been able to replace certain parts as they use them. And then there's a lot of parts. There's parts that need microchips to make the parts.
Right.
So when it comes to some of those parts, the supply on those is less. So where it might have taken a day or two before, we could overnight the part from, Arizona, and now it might take a week. And then, so the other problem that arises with that, we already talked about the rental car companies. We don't typically send customers to rental car companies. All of our stores have a rental fleet or a loaner fleet, and they're new vehicles that we use the factory program to allow our customer to drive another new vehicle while their vehicle's being fixed. But the problem is that inventory has dwindled also because those are vehicles that we need to sell to customers. So, right. For example, Chevy, I typically have 80 service loaners in stock at Chevy for customers to use, and right now we run with somewhere between 45 and 50.
Wow.
Well, and the beauty of the service loaner program that you're running is it's a test drive of the new vehicle while their old one's in the shop. Yeah. It's a hand feeding each other.
Yeah, and so like with Lincoln. Lincoln has the Black Label program, and if you buy a Black Label Navigator, you're guaranteed a Navigator loaner if you come in for service.
Right.
So you have to have X amount of Navigator. Now, some of the manufacturers have allowed us to start putting certified pre-owned vehicles in, which that fixes one problem, creates another one, because now I have a vehicle that I can let a customer borrow and convenience them and make them happy and take good care of them.
But you can't sell.
But I also got a used car that I paid too much for that's getting miles put on it and depreciating more. So there's been a lot of moving targets. But at the end of the day, obviously we're a business, so we need to figure out how to survive as a business, but we also trying to make our customers happy.
One final question before we have to let you go, Lincoln, is the fact that Ford is got apparently trucks coming out the wazoo sitting on their lots that they don't have enough chips for, and I know that they have offered a lot of dealers, a special deal if they'll let them ship these trucks to the dealer without the chip. How are you guys dealing with that?
So obviously we got the same offer with Lincoln. Luckily we have the storage room. We don't necessarily want those vehicles sitting on our front line and then a customer not understanding and getting angry that they can't take the vehicle and buy it. But we have storage lots. So for us, that's an opportunity for more service work, because when the part arrives, our service department gets paid by the factory to install that part. Right. So obviously we want to do that. And then and then we're not at the mercy of the factory waiting on 60,000 other people in front of us to get those fixed. And that's, I was asking Chevy a while ago, why don't you guys start shipping those to us and then send us the part when you get it, just drop ship it right to us. I felt like it would take a week off the delivery time, and Ford's starting to do it now. Stellantis is talking about doing it. So I hope that all of them start doing it. Because like I said, I think if we have control of getting the things ready and getting them on the front line quicker, to me, I think that'll happen quicker than it would waiting on, a third party company in a huge lot in Flint, Michigan, putting parts in.
And before I let you go, how did the Wheelchair for Warriors thing finally turn out? We never got the final number on that.
Yeah, so just over $101,000.
Awesome! How cool is that?
Yep.
And it was really funny. I started off when that started. I was thinking 40,000, 50,000. I thought that would be a good job. As it went on, I was thinking I think it's going to be higher. Then as the weekend got there, in my mind, I was thinking I want to make $100,000. And it was funny. We were totaling up after the show, and we were all exhausted. Had heat exhaustion and dehydrated and everything else. And we had counted to $80,000. But you got to remember we're tallying cash and we're tallying donations that had already been taken in, and so we got to like $81,000, and I was almost depressed. And I was like, man, we missed it. And it was funny. I was sitting there with Crystal, who's the director of Wheelchairs for Warriors. I said, what's the biggest fundraiser or biggest, event you've had? She said, this is it by far. So that made me feel a little bit better, but I'm a guy that likes to hit goals and, go overboard a little bit on things. We're sitting there and I go, hold on a minute. I go, what about the online donations? Did you count that? And she goes, oh, I forgot to count that. So she logged in and counted. It was like another 20,000 and change there. So it was 101 and change.
How
that we
cool.
got to. was
Well,
a pretty
Lincoln,
cool.
great.
what a great event, Wheelchairs for Warriors. I know that you're going to have it again. We hope we can be a part of it and help you guys out. And we sure
Hope so,
appreciate
too.
the time that you've taken with us today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care of
Good talking
yourself.
to y'all.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right.
You do the same. Talk
care,
to you
guys.
again. Lincoln Stahl, he's the GM of the Chevy store,
Wow.
the Lincoln store,
Yep.
and the Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram store for Bayway Lincolns and Chevy.
So contact them. They have inventory. They're buying used cars. Show up today and they'll write you a check.
Time now for this hour's car review. Mr. Zekin over
Yeah,
here
I've got a-
happens to have our used car of the week.
We do.
And we're going to talk about the 2019 Mustang with the EcoBoost engine. And don't turn your nose up when he starts to, EcoBoost, that's the 4-cylinder. Yeah, well, just listen to
turbo.
this.
I'm not going to do that because we do have a lot of Ford folks out there. You know, we've got a lot of groups and clubs that I don't want to make mad. So here we go. It's a 2019 Ford Mustang. Numerous trim levels available. Y'all know what they are. No need getting into them, but this is a base model. This is considered a compact sport. Now, Don reviewed one that was a compact sport. Also, I think this is more in that line. It is a 4-passenger. Well, I say that with a grain of salt because it's actually better with 2. My opinion. So exterior changes and some not really changes, but they're all pretty much standard with the front fascia spoiler. You've got the chin spoilers on them. You've got the rear spoiler, deck spoiler, front fog lamps, driving lamps, striping you can get on it. That's a good-looking vehicle. And again, this is a 2019. Very, very good car. Interior highlights, you've got the optional retro interior styling, so you can get the old school Mustang look if you'd like. You've got the dual airbags, which is consistent with all the transportation safety. You've got dusk sensing headlights, which are the LED also, which is coming at you, they'll actually dim, which is an old school option. 6 speakers in the base model, and it's got an easy-to-use cluster display for the dash. I like the interior. It's compact. It's good. It's a good tight feel, and you know we all like a good tight feel when we drive. So moving on to the engine compartment, it is a 2.3 liter 4-cylinder turbo.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
Because I didn't want to look at Conrad. 4-cylinder turbo inline EcoBoost 2.3 liter. I think I just said that. 310 horsepower at 5,500
See,
RPM.
make fun of that 4-cylinder at 310 horsepower. Hello.
I didn't make fun of it. You did.
I didn't. I just brought it to
No.
everybody's attention. Don't be dissing my 4-banger now.
All right. We wouldn't do that. The torque is 350 foot-pounds at 3,000 RPM. It is a 6-speed manual transmission, which I kind of dig. I'm grooving on
No
that.
kidding, yeah.
21 in the city, 31 on the highway.
See.
25 plus is what I wrote down here because you can get it close to 31 or better with the 6-speed. And with your foot and my foot, we probably could. 4-wheel ABS, traction control, Magna Ride suspension, Conrad. Don't know what that is, but it is there. Stability control, engine immobilizer, vented disc brakes, electric power steering, EcoBoost package. You're looking at 26 to 29 miles, or 26 to $29,000, depending on mileage and condition.
Really?
So there you
For
go.
the 19 up to
Yep,
$26,000?
up to 29, depending on mileage and condition.
Oh, my God.
And
That's
getting
kind of-
higher every day if you listen to Lincoln.
Wow, that's
Yep.
I didn't realize that they're going for that
They
much
are
money.
going. Yeah, they're good.
Ooh,
They're good.
for a used Mustang.
And that was a good looking one I picked there too. So I like the black color.
I like the 6-speed manual. I
Yep.
like the motor,
and the 4-cylinder turbo.
and I like the
EcoBoost.
cloth interior. And I did notice that one had cloth.
Retro Mustang.
Time now for the racing calendar. Conrad has that.
All right, so this weekend is the Winter Nationals in Pomona.
Yeah, that's-
Winter in July.
Why not?
Next weekend, NHRA is, on the 13th through the 15th, NHRA is in Topeka, Kansas. And then the 18th to the 23rd is in Brainerd at the zoo. What do they call that?
Well, it's the speedway up there, but there's a road course next to the drag strip,
Right.
And it's off to the side of the drag strip. And when they take those wide shots of the drag strip, you really can't see the zoo. So all of these people that have nothing to do all winter long create these creations, if you will. Things like school buses that can been converted into a 30 bar stool bar. They take the entire back end off of it, put a bar down the middle of it, and put bar stools around it, and then they drive this thing around the road course that's out there in the zoo area,
full of patrons drinking.
A lot of drinking done.
So this is an activity it's not like a race. It's just they pick up drunks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then, again, Labor Day weekend, the big go, the Dodge SRT U.S. Nationals in Indianapolis. NASCAR next weekend is at Watkins Glen International, always a fun race. On the 14th, they're going to be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400. On the 22nd, they'll be at Michigan International Speedway. And then on August 28th, they'll be back at Daytona. So that's every weekend in August they're going to have races. This weekend is the return of Formula One with the Hungarian Grand Prix, and we'll see what happens in the Verstappen Hamilton saga.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because Hamilton was trying to Verstappen.
Yeah, whatever.
And then
ask Jeff how he feels about Formula One.
We talked about it earlier.
No, I'm not.
And then August 29th, they'll be at the Belgian Grand Prix.
Kind of like Simone Biles.
I was just going there. You said it's the Spring Nationals or Winter Nationals. We've got the 2020 Olympics and 21. What's this world coming to?
Yeah, I know. And then also IMSA next weekend is going to be at Road America. And friend of the show, Alec Udell, will be racing there. And then they'll again be at Virginia International Raceway on the 22nd of August.
Nice.
Hey, I want to remind everybody that the In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts, they're available on your favorite podcast channel. The In Wheel Time Car Show continues right after this quick break.
When you're ready to shop Chevrolet, we know one that should be at the top of your list. Bayway. Locally owned by Houston-born and raised Daryl Wisniewski, Bayway brings a sense of family to your Chevrolet buying experience. When you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, you now have a place to go. General Manager Lincoln Stahl guarantees Bayway will beat any competitor's written price on the new vehicle you choose or pay you $1,000. Bayway Chevrolet is located only 8 minutes from the Beltway and Highway 288. Whether it's online or in person, you'll be welcomed like one of the family. BaywayChevrolet.com. Tailpipes and Tacos. Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Celebrating 10 years of award-winning car talk, it's the In Wheel Time Car Show. Your weekly go-to, all things automotive place. Coming up this segment, Conrad has the car clinic. We'll talk with the president. No.
The president?
No, we're not going to talk to the president.
Let's talk to the vice president.
He doesn't even know.
He doesn't make sense. He doesn't know. You notice he has to wear Velcro shoes.
Because he can't tie laces?
That's right.
Simone Biles.
No.
Let's go. I'd rather talk about cars.
Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeffrey Zeke, and Don Armstrong here. Glad you could join us. Let's switch gears and talk about C10 trucks, shall we? It's the head of the C10 Soul Texas, or should I say Soul Texas Truck Club, Brandon Emmons. Brandon, how are you, brother?
Too young to know.
I'm doing good. How you guys?
Do you know what that's in reference to? The Soul Texas.
I have no idea.
No, I told you. There used to be a television show on called The Soul Train, and it was a dance show that aired on Saturday mornings. You'll have to look that up when we get off the
Go
air.
to YouTube.
Yeah.
Go to September of 1967, and Don was in there dancing.
he had white shoes and a white belt.
I did have that. Brandon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing pretty good. It's good to talk to you. Thanks for taking the time this morning. The C10 Soul Texas Club. You know, I don't care where you are. I want to be a member of your club just because of the name.
Yep.
You like that, huh?
I do. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, I came up with it myself. That's pretty snazzy, huh?
I think, yeah, I truly agree. Yeah, it is. So tell us about the C10 Soul Texas Truck Club.
Well, we basically are just C10 trucks, but we kind of we started out with C10 Club Texas, and then we started our own thing, and then we pretty much just started doing benefits, and we do the biggest toy drive in our area, and we just kind of helping the community out. We use it. It's actually a clothing line as well, and we use that to donate to get people to the events and stuff. And then we usually just do good causes, and it kind of keeps the car scene alive in our area. We had a bunch of little groups, and then we kind of got everybody together so we've had actually probably our biggest toy drive. We had 500 vehicles at our toy drive.
Wow.
Park.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, so everybody that is watching our show right now, so they'll understand, what is a C10?
Well, it depends on who you ask, but it's a Chevrolet truck. Some go back to 55, but we pretty much start at 60 and then stop at around 87. You got 60 to 66, and you got 67 to 72, and then you got the round eyes, and then all the way up to a square body, which ended in 87.
So I happen to have a picture of his truck
Oh.
that I'm going to share up here on the screen. Give me just a second here, and
Okay.
I'll get that up there.
But it's basically just a generation of Chevrolet trucks. Right. Do you also include the GMCs as well?
Correct. Any GM product.
Nice, yes. The traditional older model Chevrolet or GMC pickup truck.
And this is before they started calling them Silverados.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is when the name of this was a C10.
Did they ever have a C1500?
There was a C15 and a C20 and a C30.
Okay.
But I think wasn't it the C15 was the GMC version, wasn't it? Chevy
Correct.
was C10,
No,
GMC was C15.
Right. Then the C20s and C30s are just bigger trucks, kind of like your 2500, 3500.
More
More commercial side, yeah.
I never understood how they did this naming nomenclature of 10s and 15s.
I still don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I know that today a 1500 would be a half ton.
Right.
Well, think of how much money they save by putting C10 on the side as opposed to spelling out Silverado.
Yeah.
You know, it saves
Well, you know,
them.
actually, the square bodies are R's, and then of course the four-wheel drives were K's, like
Right.
you know, the Blazers, K5, K10, or whatever. But I guess in the truck world, everybody just goes with C10. It's easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And then, but also back then was when you would have seen the Cheyenne.
Yes.
And what were some of the other body style names besides the Cheyenne?
They had like a Super Cheyenne, a CST, which is a custom. They had all kinds of. There's actually nowadays, that's the new thing. People are trying to find these rare trucks, or it's kind of funny, you know, when I was younger, I didn't like green or yellow or anything like that. People are finding these rare versions of these trucks that kind of people had customed out, you know, kind of like a equivalent to a Yinko or something, I guess you'd say.
Right.
But that's the new thing now, is people are finding these trucks that nobody's ever even seen that have, you know, weird stripes and weird colors and weird combos.
John Deere green.
Yeah.
John Deere.
Yeah.
Don't paint it.
Yeah.
How did you get into this trucking stuff?
Man, crazy story. My dad owned a body shop. I grew up in the business. I painted for 15 years. So I got into the pipeline business, and I always built muscle cars and coupes. And I ended up getting rid of my coupe, and I built a 67 small glass. And it's just a different crowd. It doesn't matter if you got a $500 truck or a $200,000 truck. Everybody, they're willing to help. They treat you as an equal. It's kind of a good little brotherhood, So
good network.
So yeah, I got into it, and I just kind of gave up on the muscle car scene and started building trucks for fun, and the rest is history.
Well, I'm sure that you're familiar with the Lone Star Throwdown, which we fortunately have been part of for a number of years now. And what a great event. And who was to ever think that trucking would have evolved into what it is today, especially with some of these $250,000 rigs that we see out there at Lone Star Throwdown.
Yeah. I actually interviewed with y'all guys live out there a couple of years ago when I had my purple truck.
I thought I recognized you. I think that I came and bailed you out of jail after that event, didn't I?
Well, yeah, probably so.
The pictures that Mike's showing, are those your vehicles or vehicles that you've customized?
That's my truck right there.
Okay.
That's
my
beautiful.
Purple 60. I had a purple 67, and this is a 69 that I have now.
Now, you took this one to the C10 Nationals, didn't you?
Yeah, that's kind of a weird story. I thought I was going to win, and I don't know if y'all know of a guy named Fletcher Cox. He's a football player, NFL football player, and a buddy of mine, Justin Curry, built a truck for him, and they debuted it out there, and he actually beat me. I took second. So,
well, you need to break Justin's knees next time.
There you go.
Well, you know what? I told him when we went to get the awards, everybody was sitting there, and they said, if they judge this thing right, who you think's going to win? I said, it's a toss-up between me and Justin. I said, but that truck's beautiful. His truck's blue. It's got independent rear suspension. It's supercharged. It's nice. And so when they called my name second, I said, if he don't win, I'm going to be a mad dude. But, yeah, I talked to him. I said, man, hey, congrats, because it's a beautiful truck they built,
And then you unfriended him.
No, he's a good guy. He's a race car guy. He's out of Houston.
So where are you based out of?
I'm out of Port Neches, Texas, which is roughly 20 minutes southeast of Beaumont, I guess you'd say.
Okay. Yeah.
He's across the street from me.
Oh, so your neighbors.
Mars is from Neederville.
Yeah.
Well, I won't hold that against you, Mars.
Well,
I think there's a little bit of a football rivalry over there somewhere.
Yeah. Coming up on 100 years, 101 years, something like that.
He can't go down there. He's still got warrants.
I can't cross that side of the street.
Yep.
So what is your daily driver?
Man, I actually have a 3/4 ton Chevrolet. It's a Duramax.
So you got a late model?
Yeah, well, it's a 2018 model. It's not super new.
Yeah. Have you got it lowered, or did you do anything to it, or is this just the one that you go and get parts for your expensive trucks?
It's on an 8-inch lift. It's got 35s, 37s on it.
Of course it does. Yeah. Have you zoomed up that diesel motor?
Well, man, I can't. It depends on you. Are talking about Biden and all that beforehand, so I don't know what I can say and not say. I don't want to.
Don't attract any attention you don't want.
Yeah, well, just go ahead and let it all hang out because we don't know your license plate number. It's all right.
I mean, obviously, I prefer a little horsepower, so it's deleted and all.
Okay, got it.
Which is different out in Port Neches than it is in Houston because they have different guidelines and rules over there.
Absolutely.
True. Right.
But yeah, and I'm sure that Duramax does a good job of pulling his show trucks. So
it does pretty good. It's I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. Them Fords pull pretty good too, but it'd be difficult pulling my truck to a show with a Ford. I'd look like a fool.
Well, I have to tell you that I went to I don't remember whether it was a Chevy or Ford event. This was several years ago, and they were touting the capability of the diesel. And they had a drag situation set up where, the trucks put them side by side.
Oh, yeah.
Drag. I think you were there.
Is that the one in San Antonio?
No, it was outside of San Antonio. And at any rate, so they lined them up, Ford versus Chevy. I mean, you can't get any bigger rivalry than that.
Yeah.
And, of course, nail the throttle. Everybody's nailing the throttle. Where the other vehicle pulled ahead and blah, blah, blah. So one of the smartasses that showed up at that event said, don't floor the one that winds up being second all the time. Don't floor it. Ease into it. If you floor it, it goes into a different mode. And if you just ease into the accelerator pedal,
Stays in the power.
It stays in the power all the way, and it wound up beating the other truck.
Oh,
Gosh. And guess what? That was the end of the drag racing for that event. Yeah.
Because Don can't follow the rules. They told him to floor it, and he didn't. He says, "Let me show you."
Hold my beer.
But what's the next plan for your next C10? Are you looking for one of those unique pieces? Because I know, to me, one of the unique pieces of that generation C10 of your 69, because I know they made some big blocks, some 396s of that engine as well, of that chassis, and I know those are probably much more rare to find than anything else.
Well, it's crazy stories. My grandmother was a Sinclair, and so I'm actually looking for a green round eye, which, 73 to 78-ish, that we can turn into a service truck. And I want to build like a service truck for my dad to cruise with all the Sinclair stuff on the side, like old service station truck.
Yeah.
That's my next project, yeah. But I'm currently looking for one. It's just hard to find the green I want. I found a few, but they've been repainted. So it's difficult finding a green truck.
Well, the other thing that you guys run up against that us car guys don't necessarily run up against very often anyway, is the fact that trucks used to be used for heavy-duty work.
Yeah.
And especially in that generation.
Beat up.
If you had a 396 in a half-ton pickup truck, that thing has probably been worn completely out, every aspect of it. Doesn't have a straight piece of sheet metal on it because it was used to tow stuff. It was used.
You throw stuff in it. Who cared what it did to the side rails?
Trucks weren't what they are today, what they've become.
But they are metal.
They are, yes, they are.
They are metal.
Yeah, and I'll never forget those big blocks that used to. At the Chevrolet store that I worked at, they had a separate truck department packed all the time, and they did, engine change-outs, all the heavy-duty stuff that you could imagine. And they had this thing with these big block Chevy motors that come in there completely worn out, and the guy would pull the motor, he'd, pull all the engine completely apart, hone the cylinder walls, put new rings in there, new bearings, everything that you could do. That thing would drive out of there like a brand new truck, and on it would go another 200,000 miles.
Well, and then whenever we were back over there in his neighborhood, you went looking for those truck blocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Because they were the 4-bolt mains and stuff that were hard to get.
Absolutely.
So you were looking for that engine that was worn out so you could put it in your street car.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so that makes it even more rare to find something like that still running today.
So if somebody has a green round eye that you're looking for as a Sinclair vehicle, and they have the Dino chained to the back of it, how can they contact you?
Man, I'm on Instagram at C10 Soul Texas.
Well, you know what? Sweet Ride says John Deere green available.
Yeah.
We probably won't do John Deere, but anything but.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, we don't need John
I'm
Deere
laughing
green.
at y'all. I'm listening to you guys. See, I'm an old guy. I'm an old school hot rodder. I'm only 46, but I built my first motor out of, people laugh at me, but a hot rod magazine. They used to go step by step, so I built my first small block. Y'all are over here talking about 396s and small blocks, big blocks. I haven't built a 23-degree motor in years. We went to LS, and y'all are almost foreign language to me now because everything's LS.
Yeah.
What's a carburetor?
Yeah. The distributors, points, and
tub it out.
Stuff. What's funny is these little youngsters around here, we've got probably 4 or 5 kids that they try real hard, and they don't know a lot. So we've got a group text, and we'll send them all this info. But they'll call with some funny stuff about a carburetor, distributor, or whatever, and they don't have a clue, And you pretty much walk them through on the telephone. Hey, man, do this, do that. And they're like, man, how do you know all that? And I'm like, man, times used to be really simple, man. It was before computers,
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Well, my friend, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we want to be a member of your club. Put us on the totem pole, will you?
Will do.
The C10 Soul Texas Trub, Brandon Emmons, thank you again, and stay in touch with us.
All right, buddy. Y'all have a good one.
You do.
Thank you.
That was fun.
Yeah. And he's got a cool-looking truck, too.
Mr. Mars
kid.
wanted me to remind him that he needed about 15 or 20 seconds to talk about some guests that we've got coming up.
Next week, right here, David Vogel from the Houston Community College is going to join us.
Oh, good. Yeah.
They got a car show coming up. We're going to talk about their new automotive program that's been expanded. So we got a lot of stuff coming up with them. We're going to be talking to Rod Keller, the CEO of Aero. It's a company in Austin that's building electric trucks that we can buy. And he's right up there in Austin.
No relationship to the...
No.
No.
Nikola. No.
All right.
And then we're going to be talking to Gary Emmons is going to join us, and we're going to get his view on the pre-owned market and see how things are looking over there in that part of the world.
And drag racing.
And drag racing. I told him, I said, we may talk about drag racing just a little bit.
Is he gonna have the moving Wally?
He didn't say. He didn't
Wallies.
Wallies.
Uh-huh.
That was hilarious.
So join us. We got some stuff coming up next week.
All right. We shall. Time now for by the way, I do want to remind everybody that we'd love to hear from you. Please shoot us an email if you ever want to get in touch with us. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. All right, time now for Conrad's Car Clinic. What is in the clinic today?
The last few weeks, we've been talking about different types of transmissions. We talked about CVT transmissions last week. We talked about DVT transmissions. For everybody out there, there's basically 5 types of automatic transmissions.
And here they are. Number 1.
A torque converter automatic, what's called the slush box, which is what we're going to talk about today, the continuously variable transmission, a dual clutch transmission, an automated manual transmission, and the Koenigsegg Lightspeed transmission. We'll talk about that next week.
All right.
The inventor of the first automatic transmission was a Canadian. He invented it in 1921 and called it the automatic safety transmission. He designed it to shift with air pressure instead of hydraulic fluid.
Pneumatic.
Yeah, it was a pneumatic transmission. And, that created a huge lack of power. It did have 4 forward gears. It didn't have reverse, blah, 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 blah. General Motors bought the rights to that back then and started planning on producing a hydraulically shifted automatic transmission in 37, 38. Well, actually, they did come out with the first Oldsmobile produced the first automatic transmission in 1939. Hydraulically shifted automatic transmission.
Do you need to run over this before you get on the air with us?
I
got to be at work Monday. Is this a long interview?
It was called the hydromatic transmission. It was introduced in the 1940 model year. The next year, in 1941, Cadillac picked it up.
There you go.
Tripled the price of it as an option, and it was offered in a Cadillac. But remember, in 1941, the season ended early, and they moved on to World War II.
Right.
So Cadillac and Oldsmobile built automatic transmissions for the Sherman tank. So all of that transmission production went into the Sherman tanks for however many, the 4 or 5 years they were building that during World War II. The torque converter automatic transmission was also referred to as the slush box, or for conventional automatics, because they tend to sap some power from the engine. They're quite heavy. They transmit power through a fluid coupling, and they got to spin it up and get the fluid to move through these veins to transfer the power, and that's why they ended up shifting kind of late, and that's where the nickname slush box came from. They do stand out.
I used to call them that all the time.
Yeah.
I still do.
But they work real well in heavy-duty circumstances because the fluid can get the car moving on an incline, and it has a multiplying effect of the torque of the engine, which is why they call it a torque converter.
The Corvair had a slush box in it.
2-speed.
Yep.
So over time, the very early automatics were 4 speeds, and then they went to a 2-speed automatic in GM Palance. It was called a Powerglide, Jetaway, Slim Jim were some of the other brands that were out
Box.
there.
Making me hungry.
And then they went to a 3-speed automatic, and the 3-speed automatics were generally 60s, 70s, early 90s, and then they started, 60s, 70s, and early 80s, and then in the 80s and 90s they moved to a 4-speed automatic with overdrive, and now they have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-speed automatics. Some of them with 5 and 6
Have you seen the
overdrives.
Size of those transmissions?
They're huge.
They're huge. They're bigger than the motor.
They're huge.
But the way that they do that is creating an overdrive with a planetary gear set's real easy. So there's an outer ring, 2 or 3 inner moons kind of that are gears, and then a center drive. So now they are doing 3 and 4 planetary gear
Stacking
sets
them up
to create all of these gear ratios in it.
You talked about pneumatic. Now, don't like top fuel cars use pneumatic for their clutches?
No, they don't. Well, yes,
yeah,
they
for
do.
the clutches, but it's a 1-speed. There's no
it's a 1-to-1.
Yeah, it's 1-to-1 from the start, and then they make the adjustment on the clutch
through
application.
pneumatics.
So again, the fuel efficiency of a slush box torque converter automatic is about 5 out of 10. The drivability is 7 or 8 out of 10, and the reliability tends to be kind of 9 out of 10. But one of the key things to doing this is you have to change the fluid on a regular interval. If you don't change your automatic transmission fluid, your transmission's going to fail in a younger number of miles. My recommendation is change the fluid every 30,000 miles. Some people are going to go 35, 40, 50,000 miles. Some people never change their automatic transmission fluid, and then it breaks. So get out there, service and maintain your automatic transmission. Next week, we'll talk about the Koenigsegg Lightspeed transmission.
Oh, God, I can't wait.
All right, time now for some of the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Many drivers rely on a car's in-dash fuel economy display to show the estimated number of miles the car gets per gallon of gasoline. Well, those estimates aren't always accurate, according to a Tuesday report from the American Automobile Association. And when it comes to shorter trips, miles to empty estimates varied greatly in tests conducted by AAA and the Automotive Research Center of the Automobile Club of Southern California. Variance also depends on factors affecting gas mileage, blah, blah, blah. AAA says drivers take an unnecessary risk if they overly rely on the displays. Plenty of drivers may already be doing that. About 74% of drivers use those miles to empty estimates to decide when to fill up their tanks, according to a AAA survey. The level of accuracy or inaccuracy varied widely vehicle to vehicle. In one case, the test vehicles display overestimated fuel economy by 6.4% or 2.2 miles per gallon. That's a lot. Another test vehicle display underestimated fuel economy by 2.8% or 0.9 miles per gallon. Each car exhibited a different reaction to driving. Changes in driving styles and road conditions also influenced accuracy. So keep that in mind the next time you look at it. So
did you hear that Ford has created a fragrance that smells like gasoline?
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. For all our all the EV customers here, you can smell gasoline in your car.
Instead of the
Tesla has agreed to pay $1.5 million to settle claims the software update temporarily reduced maximum battery voltage in 1,700 Model S sedans. Owners of the vehicles will get $625 each, which is many times the prorated value of the temporarily reduced maximum voltage, according to the proposed settlement documents filed Wednesday in U.S. District Court in San Francisco. Tesla did not immediately respond to a request for comment. And the White House is negotiating to have automakers pledge that 40% or more of the vehicles they sell in the U.S. will be electric by the end of the decade, something the companies say will require the government to help promote the use of the cars. UAW spokesman Brian Rothenberg said the union is in discussions with the White House and automakers about a sales target, but he said an agreement has not been reached. General Motors also said no agreement has been reached. We've got more of the In Wheel Time Car Show after a quick break.
We all know about aftermarket and online parts stores, and each one has something to offer, but they don't offer original factory parts. That's where Bayway comes in. For original factory parts, visit the Bayway stores first. Give them a call or stop by. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln carry a complete line of parts for the do-it-yourselfer. Keeping your newer classic original means a lot, and you can count on these fully stocked parts departments to help keep it that way. Bayway Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Bayway Chevy, and Bayway Lincoln, keeping it original. Tailpipes and Tacos, Houston's premier monthly car cruise-in, returns Saturday, August 21st at 2 Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurants in Katy and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Tailpipes and Tacos is free and everyone is invited. You'll see collector cars, hot rods, customs, magnificent originals, and resto mods at 2 locations. Cars from all over Southeast Texas cruise in and show off in a friends and family event at the Loopy Tortilla Mexican restaurant on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard just south of I-10 in Katy, and inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway near Kirby. Drag racer, car enthusiast, and Loopy founder Stan Holt brings you Houston's hottest cruise-in. Tailpipes and Tacos at Loopy's inside the Loop on the Southwest Freeway in Kirby, and in Katy on the Grand Parkway just south of I-10, where you'll see the In Real Time Car Show. Get your ride ready and we'll see you at the Tailpipes and Tacos Saturday morning cruise-in at Loopy's in Katy and Kirby, August 21st, 8 to 11 a.m., weather permitting. You see all the new ceramic car wash cleaners on TV now, but John Gray at Gulf Coast Auto Shield has been using ceramic coatings on Houston's most expensive cars for years, and he'll tell you that nothing beats the real thing. Gulf Coast Auto Shield installs a coating over your paint that actually comes with a warranty. If you just picked up your Lambo, your Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari, any other exotic car, chances are your car will have company that have already found Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Now, you don't have to own an exotic. Maybe you got a truck, an SUV, or even an older vehicle that needs a little love. Well, let John Gray give it a look and give you an estimate on refurbishing that paint and making your vehicle look new again. How about getting a gift certificate for the wife's birthday or anniversary from Gulf Coast Auto Shield and tell her, honey, I know you love your car, so why don't we get it looking new again? It'll be the best gift ever, one that she'll never forget. Get hold of John Gray at gcautoshield.com or give him a call, 832-264-0670. Gulf Coast Auto Shield.
Well, guess what? That's a wrap for another episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk if you would, please. We would certainly appreciate it. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting features along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available from your favorite podcast outlet. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is David Ainsley. Our marketing manager and video technical director is We Need More Jeffrey Zekin. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars, over there, King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our 3-hour live broadcast across a multitude of audio and video streaming platforms. Podcasts are available at your favorite podcast provider. Today's show was produced by Beaver Cleaver. We thank you so much for joining us. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend. Stay cool out there, and we'll see you next week.